Wow. Wow. So this is crazy because it's such big news, but yet it's a third-string quarterback. Trey Lance has been traded to the Dallas Cowboys, which is huge news, but yet it's not really because he was third string in San Francisco. Now he's third string in Dallas. But maybe this opens the door to a revival of his career at some point. Who knows? But it is big news. It is a debacle in San Francisco. And San Francisco fans got to feel pretty upset and sick to their stomachs that they gave up essentially three first-rounders for a kid that never had a chance, for a kid that was never shoved into the starting lineup. This team quick to move on from Trey, yet not quick to move on from Jimmy for many years. So quick to buy into Purdy. Never sold on Trey Lance. A lot of people will say Trey Lance wasn't good. He's not good. He was never given a shot. And he's essentially not even as good as he was, even watching him play, I can admit that, as a rookie. He took a lot of steps backwards. His confidence is shot. Maybe this will help rejuvenate him. It is what it is. And we're here to break it down. It has the Jeudy news, Anthony Richardson talk, Sean Tucker taking a share of first-team snaps. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday,
8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So a lot to discuss in a very short period of time. We got somebody dropping some YouTube exclusive memberships. We'll check that out here in a second. Appreciate everybody joining for this live stream, this breaking news live stream. We're always live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 8 p.m. It's now 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern. We got the Detroit Lions and Carolina Panther game going on. We got multiple games here on screen. Niners are playing in a little bit. A lot of final preseason action kind of getting buttoned up, and we're here to break it down. We're here to do it live. And so file on in, hit that like button on your way in the door, and let's take care of business here and knock out the news, then open the phone lines in just a minute. This is probably going to create a lot of, I don't know, controversy maybe, that I'm going to talk a little bit bad about the Niners again, but the Niners straight debacle situation. Set this player up for failure. Trey Lance didn't ever give him a shot, injured him by running him up the middle like a fullback. So here it is. The price of a 24 fourth round pick and $6.25 million fully guaranteed over 2 seasons. Dallas gets a lottery ticket. He'll be their third stringer now if he develops potentially a solid backup or more. If I had to break this down from a fantasy football perspective, this is a nothing burger move. If anything, like I could say, in a world where we look at the Niners' injury history, we look at the Dallas Cowboys' likelihood of a number 3 quarterback going into the lineup, the odds of Trey Lance starting a single game in 2023 just maybe went down. His potential development and future value may have went up. How much? I don't know, because he's got to climb up to the number 2 spot. Dak's got to get injured or fail. Knock on wood, no one wants that. Not saying anybody wants that, but that's the avenue for Trey Lance to get into a starting job in Dallas. There's a small, minute chance it could happen if things unfold a certain way, but Trey wasn't going to make it long-term in San Francisco. His confidence was shot. He may be shot completely and just completely burnt. I don't know that he'll ever rebound to the potential he could have had. He had serious potential going into that Houston Texan game, his first real NFL start. Winning that Houston Texan game had playoff implications, and then he gets yanked from the lineup. Jimmy gets shoved back in, and he goes downhill from there. Shanahan runs him up the middle like a fullback, gets him hurt early in the season in that Week 2 contest against Seattle after playing in a mud bowl in Chicago in Week 1. Trey Lance is now the third string quarterback as a Dallas Cowboy, yet he had a higher likelihood of climbing into a starting role in San Francisco in 2023 due to Purdy's potential injury history, or you could say the UCL not being something that he can withstand a whole season on. Sam Darnold being a disappointment maker. Trey had a better shot to start a single game in 2023 in San Francisco. It is what it is. He's not going to be a value in fantasy football 2023, not unless injury plagues the Dallas Cowboy QB room. So this really is like a non-story. We're out here to talk about this breaking news here about a third-string quarterback that Kyle Shanahan destroyed, that Kyle Shanahan ruined, and 3 first-rounders. Essentially, the cost of this man right here, 3 first-rounders down the drain, debacle, not even given a shot, not a fair shot anyway, at all. Say goodbye to the 3 first-round picks. Say goodbye to a lot of future value. And I know Niner fans everywhere are shaking their head in a major way. Some might not be, but majority are. Believe me, I've talked to them. Trey Lance news out of the way, and we'll move on because it really is nothing more than what we just broke down. It's a short story, and it's over, and we're moving on. Trey Lance isn't someone you grab even in a Superflex draft, redraft. Maybe in Dynasty. I don't know. It depends how deep your team is. Sean Tucker, undrafted rookie running back Sean Tucker, who we've liked a lot on this channel. And I got G Money drafting right now. I'm not sure if he's watching, but G Money just took he's doing a draft right now. He got Burrow and Pollard as his keepers. He drafted Jamar Chase, Gibbs, Walker, and Javonte. He's crushing his draft. Moonshot for
to the moon.
G Money, who's a very loyal follower of this show, and I just want to say thanks to him for ordering a draft call. Just got off that call with him. Sean Tucker, we've been excited about Sean Tucker, but there were some health concerns. Couldn't even attend or have a pro day. Okay, wasn't drafted, and was an unrestricted undrafted free agent signing by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A really, really good running back in this draft class. A guy that could have climbed to 4 or 5 on my running back rankings. He kind of was there in the early offseason. He has been splitting first-team reps with Rachaad White. Look, as much as I like Rachaad White, as much as I've touted this guy as a rookie and put him on the Moon Man list last year, there's a reason, there's concern and caution in relying upon him as your starting running back in 2023, even in your running back 2 slot. And this is why I traded him in the Marsman League. I'm feeling apprehensive about his workload. I'm feeling apprehensive about how in the hell this guy's going to navigate over 4.3, 4.2 yards per carry in an offense that's going to have trouble moving the football down the field. Baker can look okay here. He can look okay over here. At the end of the day, Baker is a disappointment maker, and I don't see him having a magical year, at least even a good to great year, enough to make this running attack look lucrative. And on top of that, you're hearing things like Sean Tucker splitting reps. It's got to concern you. And I don't think I'm going after Rachaad White at all in 2023 go forward drafts because he's not at a reasonable ADP. He's not. He's not at a reasonable ADP. And if you take Rachaad White over guys like Pacheco, over guys like, really Pickens, Dotson, a plethora of guys, I think you're potentially setting yourself up for a disappointment. And so my advice is to draft him in spots, draft him where he makes sense, but don't take him near his ADP. If this news drops his value into a territory where, hey, you want to maybe go after him, go after him. But don't take Rachaad White anywhere near his ADP until his ADP readjusts. This is why he's been a player to avoid. Too many red flags for a good player. Love him. Have loved him. But you have to be objective and not say, oh, I'm nostalgic because I loved him last year. His situation's god-awful, and I'm not going near it. So Sean Tucker, who knows what kind of value he picks up in the coming weeks and months because he runs tough. Anthony Richardson yesterday, watching this Carolina Panther game right now, watching this other game kickoff right here, New England Patriots game. This will be an interesting one. Okay. Kickoff. Here we go. Patriots and Titans. Let's see what happens here. Anthony Richardson, we saw yesterday, definitely a mixed bag. Not crazy to think that he wouldn't blow everyone's socks off in his first real big performance. Playing a half of football. In one full half of football, he had 6 of 17. Not good. 78 yards, no passing touchdowns. He ran for 38 yards, no rushing touchdowns, no touchdowns at all. And I'm not saying this is going to be what you extrapolate into the season and that this man can't run for 10 touchdowns and 900 yards on the ground. That probably will be his most significant stat line. This is a quarterback that a lot of people are kind of overdrafting. I like him. He's not a bust. I'm not running away from him as my QB2 in Superflex. I'm not running away from him as my 2 QB rotation with an Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love, Anthony Richardson. If somehow, some way I punt quarterback and miss out on T-Law, Fields, and Burrow and the boys. If I miss out on the boys and I got to go Anthony Richardson, Aaron Rodgers, I'm okay with that. And that's 1 QB. And I got to go Jordan Love, Anthony Richardson. I'd probably rather go Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, to be honest. This guy's getting a little overdrafted. I'm seeing some people talk as if he's a 6th or 7th round pick and 1 QB. Not going to do it. Not going to do it, as Dana Carvey used to say. I'm not going to do it. You can, not me. There's too much volatility here. There's too much lack of support going on right here in Indianapolis. And if they trade JT away, why in the hell are we going to invest at QB1 value on a guy that has no playmakers around him? If you watch the game, it's not all his fault that he's 6 of 17. Because he threw the ball pretty well at times, threw some missiles, but his receivers didn't pull them in. His receivers dropping balls left and right. There's no reason to believe he's going to be consistent in 2023. I just can't buy him as a QB1 fantasy football 2023. I can't. Not in a 1 QB. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Let's pump the brakes on anointing this kid this absolute star. I like him. I'm very excited about him. I think he can get there. Maybe year 2. Maybe in spots this year. Maybe matchup based. Maybe by midseason. Maybe he can be a midseason monster. Or in hindsight, we wish we put him on the midseason monster list, which I don't believe we have him on. Yeah. He could crack this list potentially, or be a guy in hindsight we wish we would put him on there. I'm not going to put him on there. I'm too concerned about what I'm seeing from the supporting cast to put him on there. Had he kept JT, which he still might do. I mean, look, Irsay may not trade this man. Irsay may not trade JT. I think he probably gets traded after the Trey Lance trade. I'm feeling that trade vibe right now. But if he doesn't get traded, then we have a little bit different conversation to have because he's got a little bit of supporting cast that makes a lot of sense. But I am not going to buy into this man being a top 10 quarterback in fantasy football 2023 with no weapons. I'm not doing it. Not in this offense with this organization that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I get a whiff of Snyder. I get Snyder vibes all over this organization right now. And I think Colts fans probably feel the same way. The way that JT's being treated, the way this man Irsay has talked about running backs, and the way his horrible bedside manner around it all makes me question everything about the way they're doing things. Imagine losing your job to Purdy, says Swaggy. Well, Purdy, I don't blame the Niners for leaning Purdy after what he did, but the way they've disrespected Trey and putting Sam Darnold ahead is ridiculous, bro. Jerry Jeudy news, and then I got super chats to get to. Wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, who is expected to miss at least several weeks with a hamstring injury he suffered Thursday via so-and-so. The Broncos open the regular season September 10 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Broncos, Jerry Jeudy was carted off the field with a hamstring injury. It is thought to be relatively significant. And Jerry Jeudy is very, very questionable for the first couple weeks of the season. And if he goes out there, let's say early on, he'll probably get hurt. Same thing with Terry McLaurin. If Terry McLaurin heads onto the field a little too early, guess who's probably getting hurt and never really recovering? Terry Scary McLaurin. So there's a lot of players that we would need to talk about today. I think Scary Terry needs to be on this list as well. Let me see if I can find that piece of news just to throw it on here. I want to make sure everybody is up to date and knows what time it is. Scary Terry McLaurin. Do I even have that piece of news somewhere? Where is it? Where is it? I don't have it. I'll have to find it. Anyway, I can verbalize it. Scary Terry McLaurin. Turf toe. Likely questionable for week 1. Probably, if I had to guess, week 2. This is a lingering injury. If he comes back too early, it will hamper him all year. Not worried about double teams or defenses focusing too much on Dotson. This will be a great thing for Dotson out of the gate in 2023. But it won't be a great thing for Dotson if it's a whole year-long thing. Because we don't want Scary Terry McLaurin out for the year and Dotson to eventually become the focal point of the defense to shut this man down. Right now, they have too many things to worry about. They're not going to change. Defenses aren't going to change up what they're doing or how they're thinking, how they want to shut this offense down right out of the gate. They're going to watch Dotson do some good work. And by week 3 or 4, when he's had several good games, I bet you defenses start paying attention. But defenses are very slow to pick up on these things. We're looking from a different vantage point. The NFL isn't going, wow, Dotson's looking good. The NFL doesn't know. Defenses don't know. Coaches don't look at it like from our perspective. This is a guy that looked good in the preseason, that we saw shining like a bright star in last season's second half of the year. But his total yardage is in the, 700-800s. Defenses aren't sitting there going, Dotson's going to be an absolute top 12 wide receiver. They will start to feel that way after 3-4 weeks of it. So this is good news for Dotson initially, but we do want McLaurin out there. McLaurin out there is better than not being out there with Sam Howell trying to learn the NFL game and play good football, which I think he really could do. But Dotson to the moon. Jerry Jeudy was a complete avoid anyway. And no, I'm not dancing. A couple of people say I was dancing around and a bad look, Smitty, for you to look like you were excited that Jeudy got injured. I didn't say I was excited about Jeudy getting injured. I just said he's a big avoid because he can't stay healthy and he can't put it all together. That's not me celebrating injury. That's me evaluating fantasy football draft selections. That's my job. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to pat people on the back or say, oh, let's hope Jeudy gets better. I'm not wishing anything bad upon him. I'm here to evaluate, predict, and project. And Jerry Jeudy, like Pittman was last year, like Deontay Johnson was last year, was one of the biggest avoids, and I screamed it all off season long because people were grabbing him in the 4th round, which was absolute asinine. Unbelievable that people are expecting 4th round value out of Jerry Jeudy. When you got players like Walker and Breece Hall and Fields and Burrow sitting there ready to win championships. Unbelievable. Everyone that took Jeudy in their draft, take a lap, all in one group, hold hands, lock arms, go send yourself on a lap. Okay. This here was from Schefter as well on the Trey Lance. Multiple teams were on a potential Trey Lance deal, including one of the AFC teams per source. There was a market. Cowboys like the upside of a 23-year-old with game experience who can improve the roster. Dallas clearly feels good about him, or they wouldn't have made the move. This was the announcement of the Trey Lance news, and that's all she wrote for now in terms of the news. I hate to take you off the screen, Trey, but you don't, no offense, don't deserve the screen time because you're not a big player. And so we're going to open this up to just blank topic, and we're going to open the phone lines after we do some super chats. Some super chats have been dropped. $20 hauler from Thomas, dropping wads on the screen, Thomas.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Thomas in the building. Thomas, appreciate you, Thomas. Thomas says, Smitty, appreciate your work. 12-team Dynasty Superflex QB, love Goff, Hendon Hooker, McCoy, wide receiver Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Mike Evans, Michael Thomas, Lazard, Thielen, Hyatt. This is a good team. But there are some concerns. The quarterback room is very light. I love Jordan Love. You know I love Jordan Love. But Jordan Love, Goff, I understand where you're going with it. Wide receiver room, Garrett Wilson, Watson, Evans. I like it. Bijan, Algier, K9 Charbonnet. Fantastic. Overall, really good team. And you do need Love to deliver. And I think even though you're light there, I like it. It's kind of a crafty, stack up at other positions and let Love do his thing and see if it works. And I think it could very well work out for you. Was offered a 25 first rounder and second for Dotson. Thoughts? No. Well, you don't have Dotson listed here, so I don't know if you got this backwards and you're getting Dotson. Was offered my 25 first for Dot. I think you're saying you trade you're wording it, I think, backwards. I think you're saying you trade your 25 first. Yeah. Was offered my 25 first. Okay. I would take Dotson over your 25 first. 25 is a ways away. You got a really good team. Give me Dotson. Send him on over. Red Rover. Send Dotson right over.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Thank you, Freddie, with the $10 hauler. Freddie gets a moonshot for draft.
To the moon.
Dropping that $10 hauler. All $10 get a moonshot. Thank you for everything you do. Keep grinding. Let's go. Thank you, Freddie. Freddie, I appreciate when someone drops a super chat, like a $10 hauler or more, to say thank you. Like, what an amazing group we have. He doesn't need to do that. Freddie didn't need to do that. Freddie, you're going to the moon again.
To the moon.
Freddie, appreciate you. And thank you, Jeffrey, for dropping your super chat. Sickening what we did to Trey. It is awful. But hopefully this is an open door. He's a young kid. I hope he's got a shot at rejuvenating his career. Thanks again, Thomas. I'm sending
to the moon.
Thomas to the moon again for dropping that. But definitely go get Dotson, my guy. Go do it live. Nathan dropping a $5 hauler. Where's the Geno love? DK Lockett JSN, and he's the fifth most points last year of all the guys. I get it, but how are you gonna rank them? Like, where do you want me to rank them? Just because I don't have them in my top 8, like, who do you want me to take out? I promise you, Nathan, that if I did a live stream where I said I'm taking out Lamar, or I'm taking out T. Law, or I'm taking out Aaron Rodgers, or I'm taking out Herbert out of the top 8 or 9 quarterbacks, I'd have more people saying, what's up with the Herbert love? What's up with the Lamar love? What's up with the T-Law love? Nathan, I'm going to have very few people question my placement of Geno versus if I made the move you're suggesting. And I'm not saying I make any move based on anybody's reaction. I could care less. This is the show. The show is the show. The show is not compromised by anybody. But what I'm saying is, like, where am I out of place here? I guess you're saying getting drafted at QB 13. Maybe you're not angling that at me necessarily. Just where's the love in general. So Nathan, know that I'm not going at you. I'm just aggressively talking passionately about the take. I mean, look, I could list off, if I go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. We'll be drafting tonight. Please hit the promo code Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Let me drop that link right now. Play Underdog now. Let me pin that link in the live chat. Here it is. Doing it live. Play Underdog Fantasy. Let's pin that link right now. Let's see here. Pin the link. I'm trying to pin the link. I'll pin it in a second. But we're doing drafts tonight, so please hit that Underdog Fantasy link and in the live chat there. It's in the description of every video. So if you're watching a replay of this video, you can just see the description of any video and see the Underdog link. I just pinned it right there. All right, let's go to Underdog Fantasy rankings and let's take a look. Let's take a look at QBs and let's see where I'm off base or where the industry's off base with your Geno Smith talk. So you got QB1, Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, Lamar Jackson, Fields, Burrow, Herbert, T-Law. So that's the top 8. Not my top 8. That's the ADP rankings. Obviously, I have Fields and Burrow higher. But that's your top 8. So Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, Lamar, Fields, Burrow, Herbert, T-Law. You got Deshaun Watson, Tua, Anthony Richardson, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith. Could I move Geno above Daniel Jones and Kirk Cousins? Sure. Could I move him above Dak? Sure. So I guess you make a point there. But then I've got like Aaron Rodgers and Love below them, Carr, and I moved those guys right up with Geno at least. So it's 13's about right, bro. I mean, there's no way to really force him higher. You could, but I don't know that it's necessary. I don't know that anybody's off base by it. There's just a close quarterback group right there from like 9 to 15. Smitty, thoughts on, thank you for your super chat, Nathan. I appreciate you. Thoughts on trade. My Pollard for Antonio Gibson, Jeudy, Sutton. I think that's the worst trade I've ever seen in my life.
King 25, code 428. Dispatch, Vito,
I don't know what side. Yeah, I hope you didn't do this trade, Collusion. I hope you didn't do this trade. Antonio Gibson, are you sure you don't mean Gibbs? Tell me you mean Gibbs, Collusion, and tell me you didn't do it. I don't send you on a lap very often, but this is a heap of garbage. Antonio Gibson, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton for Tony Pollard. This is honestly, this might be. Please tell me you didn't do it. Please tell me this was a horrible offer that you're turning down right now. This has got to be the worst trade offer I have seen all year. This is the worst trade offer I've seen all year. Absolute worst. Collusion, the worst. Please tell me you didn't do this trade. The phone lines are open. Please tell me you didn't do this trade.
You've just
You know I love you, Collusion. You know I love you. This has got to be, putting me in a panic. I'm scared for you. Here we go. We got Bryson with the $5 hauler. What kind of trade should I make with TJ Hawkinson, with J.K. Dobbins, or Stevenson, or Najee? Got Walker, Garrett Wilson, Olave, London, so none of those guys. Thanks. That is the most confusing question I've ever been asked, Bryson. Make TJ. What offer should I make with TJ Hawkinson, with J.K. Dobbins, or Stevenson, or Najee? Got Walker, Garrett Wilson, London. Okay. I guess you're asking me if you traded TJ Hawkinson and JK. I would trade Stevenson if you could get Bijan with that or something, or JJ or Chase. But other than that, I mean, to trade Stevenson, a third-round running back that's got a lot of value, I don't know that I'm trading Hawkinson with that in order to get like a second-round wide receiver. But J.K. Dobbins and Hawkinson together would buy me a Gibbs, buy me a potentially even a Ridley, Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, Tony Pollard. I'd trade J.K. and Hawkinson for Walker and Charbonnet together if the person had both of them. Quite honestly, a lot of people might not do that, but I would. I could care less about J.K. J.K.'s okay, but I like Walker over Hawkinson, and if you give me Charbonnet, that's a move I'd do. J.K. and Stevenson together for Gibbs. J.K. and Stevenson together for one of those wide receivers like Garrett Wilson, St. Brown. That's probably where I'd take that. I hope I answered that question right. I was a little confused reading it. Would you rather have Calvin? Thank you, Bryson. Would you rather have Calvin Ridley plus Rashad White, or Kenneth Walker plus Mike Williams? Man, I hate these trades. It's like, you kick me in the nuts, I'll kick you in the nuts, and then let's trade like good players. So you're both taking a shot. Because I don't like White and Mike Williams, so like getting one of those players. I like Rashad White. I just don't like his situation. I suppose I like Mike Williams, Kenneth Walker better if you have Charbonnet, and if you don't, you got to get him. Thank you for the $10 hauler. That gets you a moonshot.
To the moon.
But yeah, give me Walker. I love Ridley, but give me Walker if you can get Charbonnet. And that's a tough question, because really, what am I doing? You know, I'm drafting Ridley in the 2-3 turn, maybe top of 3 to be safe, let's say, and I'm taking Walker in like 4 or 5. But like, I like Walker more, you know, so maybe you get more, maybe you can get more. I just don't know. Mike Williams is maybe an upgrade over Rashad White, so maybe that is enough, but maybe you can swap Mike Williams out for something else, you know, just to make it a little bit more even. But at the end of the day, I quietly like Walker more. I'm just going to take advantage of the ADP. Nathan says you have Geno as QB 19. I mean, maybe I'll look at my rankings on the fantasyfootballshow.com is what he's talking about. It's possible he's too low there. I'll have to look. But is it like a dollar difference? You know, because you're talking about, or is he tied with like 4 guys and they're all at the same price? Like, you got to look at those details too, because if a QB's at 19, but he's tied with 5 guys for the same dollar amount, then he's essentially is 15 to 19. So you got to keep that into account. And then Russian Collusion says, did not do the trade. Tell Mark C he needs to take a lap. It's from the Moonman. It's in the Moonman League. Mark C. It's in the Moonman League. Well, Mark is in the Marsman League. Collusion, and so are you. So you mean the Marsman League? Yeah. So Mark offered you that, you're saying? Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mark. Mark heard me say it was the worst offer ever. I gotta be careful. This Marsman Moonman Leagues get me in trouble because I'm here like critiquing things, and some of the stuff's coming from it, and then people get really mad at me because I over critique something. Hopefully, Jack of all trades calls back, and I haven't heard from him ever since I roasted that trade he did yesterday. And Jack, come back, Jack. Okay, Zach, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
What's up, Smitty? I called in like a couple weeks ago, and I gave you a couple guys that I'm keeping in like a 4-keeper league, and we decided on like Diggs in the 2nd, Pollard in the 5th, Olave in the 6th, and Hurts in the 7th. I got a trade offer. I have Burrow in the 8th, and I'm thinking about trading him for Christian Watson in the 16th round. Would that be a good trade for me since I already have Hurts?
Burrow in the 8th for Christian Watson in the 16th round. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I would be keeping 4 of them. Would you keep Christian Watson in the 16th over Diggs in the 2nd?
Yes. Yeah, because Watson, okay. I mean, think about it. You just got to think about it logically and say to yourself, what player are you going to get in the 2nd round? Like, name somebody that you've seen mocked with your keepers and everything involved. What player names are going to be there? Give me 1 or 2.
Well, this would be the first year after drafting last year, so I don't really know. So that's why I'm like I've never done this.
Throw a couple names out. Throw a couple names out you think will be there. You believe to be there.
Well, it's a 12-team league, and each team will keep probably 4 players.
Okay.
So, I mean, that leaves
like Pickens maybe? Dotson maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
I just don't know like who people are going to keep.
It's hard to say without knowing, but I'd say that Diggs in round 2, where you're saying Dotson might be or Pickens might be. If you give me Pickens and Christian Watson, that's just it's more firepower. I suppose it's not crazy to keep Diggs if that's the actual like players that you're going to see falling to round 2 in your draft, given the 4 keepers. But part of me feels like you might see a Walker, a Hall. I don't know, maybe not. Part of me thinks you might see a little bit better talent level than that in that first round there, or that 2nd round, but who knows. But I do like Watson a ton at that later territory. It's really, really good value.
Okay, for sure. And my second question was different league. I have Goff and Aaron Rodgers as my quarterbacks. Would you pick up either Jordan Love or Geno Smith over either of those guys?
Jordan Love or Geno Smith over who?
Over Goff or Aaron Rodgers.
Jordan Love over Goff is probably set up better than Love, but I'm tempted. I like Love that much, bro. I'd almost grab Love anyway and find a way. I don't know what other player you can drop. I don't know. That's a very, very tough one.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is we have like 3 flexes, so it's like a super deep league. And like I could drop Tank Dell or like Tyler Boyd, but I mean,
Tank Dell or Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd isn't like anything to write home about, bro. You know, I'd rather have Love than Tyler Boyd. If you're never going to use Tyler Boyd, drop him and pick up Love. And give yourself the quarterback option, the trade option. You know what I'm saying?
How about Jameson Williams?
Yeah, I'd take Jameson Williams in a heartbeat. I mean, 6 games
like,
sucks.
Would you drop Jameson for Love?
Oh, I thought you meant pick him up. No, I'd drop Boyd. Unless Boyd's like a starter for you because the league's that crazy deep or something. Like Boyd's never going to crack your lineup. Cut him for Love, and then maybe make a quarterback trade.
I have Bijan, Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Okonkwo,
Thank you, Thomas.
Kenneth Walker, Michael Pittman, and Zay Flowers in my starting lineup.
Okay, so that's pretty light. But I don't know. I'd take Love, and maybe you're able to trade Love. You know what I'm saying? More trade
For
value
sure.
for Love.
Thanks, Mitty.
All right, man. Let's go over to Chris from New York. Chris, what's up, my guy?
What's going on there, Smitty?
What's
Good
up,
to
buddy
talk
boy?
to you. Yeah, I was just wondering why everybody is so down on Geno Smith this year. They have him, like I heard you saying, like ranked as the 19th quarterback. He was QB5 last year at fantasy, and I don't really see that much of a drop off from him.
Like I said, I mean, I named off 8 quarterbacks. There's no way I'm ranking Geno Smith over. Just absolutely zero chance.
What you're saying there.
So,
but last year, you could have probably put 12 of them. You would have ranked. You would have said, "No way, I would have took him over."
Yeah,
Geno Smith.
but you get to 9 to 15, and it's like there's an argument to be made for every single one over the other. You can say Geno's 9. I wouldn't.
I'm not saying take Geno early. I'm saying like Geno in the 12th, 13th. Like last year, I took Justin Fields and Geno Smith as my Superflex league because I punted on quarterback into the second round and third round. And in our leagues, the quarterbacks just immediately go off the board. So, it's crazy. It's like the first 20 are quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So, you're pretty much stuck. But I won my league. And I also had, what's his name from the Raiders there? Josh Jacobs. I took him, and I took Amon St. Brown.
Yeah.
And,
well,
I got lucky on some picks.
I got you. But I still don't. I still think it's ridiculous to have him 9, and I don't think it's ridiculous to have him 15. That's what I'm saying. Like this shock that he's 10, 11, 12, 13 for people, that shocks me. Maybe he's too low on my rankings, but I think what he's looking at, maybe I'll have to look at it and see if there's an error or something. But a lot of times those guys from 14 to 19 are all within $1 or tied, and so I mean it's just.
Let me ask you. Do you have a super sleeper quarterback that could finish you say you don't have 8 of them there's no way somebody like
Jordan Love
Jordan Love, you think, huh?
Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Jordan Love could be this year's version of what you were talking about with Geno last year. And I'm not saying Geno can't be 7, 8, 9, 10, but I can't even come close to ranking him top 8. There's no way I'm taking out Lamar or Herbert or T. Law. I'm just not. Look, sometimes players have big games and or big seasons, and then they don't necessarily replicate it. But there's no reason he can't. But I just don't. I'm not buying into him just yet.
Okay, that sounds good. Hey, thanks for your time.
All right, call back if you have another question.
Yep, right. Later.
Appreciate you. Okay, thank God Collusion didn't make that trade. He was just throwing it out there. But this super chat here, Cup, Hill, or Bijan with the 1.2 in a half PPR. My keepers are Hall, Smith, and Pollard. So Cup, Hill, or Bijan with the 1.2. Keepers are Hall, Smith, and Pollard. I'm still going Bijan. Look, Hill's really good. He fits that team very well because you already have 2 RBs. But if you can start 3 RBs, I'm not shying away from Bijan just because of team need. Bijan's my number 1, number 2, or number 3 overall player. So at the end of the day, I'm picking that. And if I got to make trades, I got to make trades. If I have to make sleeper decisions and draft guys, I'll do that. But I'm certainly not going to stray away from Bijan just because of the team build. Trade my Burrow, Chase, B-Rob for Dak Prescott, CD, and Damian Pierce. Trade away my No! Dak, CD, Pierce for Burrow, Chase, B-Rob. No, I'm not doing it. No way. Absolutely disapprove that trade. Keep your ballers, your pancake stack.
The stack above all stacks.
Don't trade this.
It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
Drop the pancake emojis. Don't trade the stack, bro. That is a bad idea. You're just getting bored and wanted to make a trade. I'm here to save the day. Adversity, don't make the trade. Appreciate your $5 hauler. I'm here for you. $20 hauler on screen. His name is Ian. His last name's Atwell, and he's a baller.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
alert. Super chat alert.
Straight baller, bro. Straight baller. Dropping it like it's hot. Hey, Smitty, 10-team, full PPR. Just drafted Josh Allen, Jamar Chase. Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Kenneth Walker, Javonte, Cole Kmet. Bench is Kamara, Pickens, Dotson. Very good team. We like the squad. We sure do, bro. That's a fantastic squad. I like it. Very, very good team. Let me see if there's any other trade ideas I have for you or ways to explore this and turn it into a even bigger monster. I have to say, Smitty missed my 6-month question. Didn't I put it on screen, Thomas? Thomas, you dropped this $20 hauler, which I greatly appreciate. Thank you so much. And then you had a 6-month. I thought this was it, and I put that on screen. It was for a 25 first rounder and second. Still take it. Yeah, because I didn't mention the second rounder. Yeah, I'm not worried about the second rounder. I take Dotson. I don't know if everybody else would do that, but 25 first rounder, give me Dotson. It's close, as long as he's going in your lineup, and I read that correctly. He's not a bench player or putting some other good player on your bench. Collusion says Geno has done it for 1 year. Can he repeat? And that's kind of the thinking of maybe not, going full go. Hey, Smitty 10 team league. Okay. So Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Kenneth Walker. This is a great team, man. Kamara, Pickens. I don't even see anything that I want you to trade. All these guys are players I want to acquire, and a lot of them need to prove themselves before you can trade them anyway. So no moves here. No moves to make at all. You just sit on this team. You don't even have a player I'm like, you need to trade him before his value tanks. You have literally a list of players, Ian, that I love, and I let that team ride. I don't even hesitate to let that team ride, bro. Appreciate you. Keep the pancake stack, says DF Lion. Should I drop Rashee Rice or Quentin Johnston for Mims or Sutton? Absolutely not. But his arm is legit. Who are we talking about there? Who don't like the Cowboys, but I'm rooting for Trey, says Niner by nature. And I don't blame you, man. Trey's been ruined. I don't even know that I believe that he can come back from it, to be honest. But at least he's in a different place where he can get his mind right. I want to know if streaming kickers is the best strategy. I mean, if you don't get like Tucker or one of the top 2 or 3 guys, then yeah, I would probably stream. Definitely would stream at that point for sure. I got a couple people drafting right now. My cousin's drafting right now. He wants to know what to do here. He says, let's see if he's making a take a lap move. Lockett or Allen over London. London, bro. London gold. Let it rip. Okay, Andy dropping a $10 hauler on screen. Andy, thank you very much. $10.
To the moon.
All get moonshots. Appreciate you. Andy says, hi, Smitty. I was offered Ramondre, Dallas Goedert for Darren Waller, James Cook. No, Ramondre and Dallas Goedert by a country mile over Darren Waller, James Cook. I like James Cook. I know everybody's super excited about him, but can we pump the brakes and stop pretending there isn't a lot of risk involved? Like, I'm okay with the whole sleeper, let's grab them and hope everything works out. But Goddard and Waller are almost arguable. Like, wash that out of the trade. You're trading James Cook. You're getting Ramondre Stevenson for James Cook. That Ramondre side is a smash. One of the easiest trade offers I've seen all day.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I mean, that's literally...
Got him.
Got him material, if I've ever seen it. Gibbs to reach at 2.5. Yeah, Anthony, because he's not going there at all. You're an impatient Ian if you're pulling the trigger there. You got to let him fall. I don't mind him at the 2-3 turn. I guess I don't mind him at like 2.10, or if you have to, you're just really afraid of that turn pick player or owner sniping him. But like, you got to wait for him to climb there, or you're blowing your opportunity. What makes you think that is the ADP and suggested rank make it look like you're not going to get him? Is he like off the board for you, or is it just cutting it close and you're trying to be an impatient Ian? I don't think I'm you know, I don't know. Let's see here. Lockett or McLaurin? Watson? Dotson? Or Pickens over him? I don't know why everybody loves Lockett. I'm not into Lockett. I'm trying to help my cousin here. Watson, Dotson, Pickens over Lockett. Stop going Lockett. And McLaurin's hurt, Garrett. He's hurt. He's injured, Garrett. 10-man PPR. Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Chase, Higgins, Goddard, Christian Kirk, Pierce, Deontay, Sutton, Khalil Herbert, Zach Charbonnet. Higgins dropped to me at the end of 4. What should I do? 10-man PPR. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Okay. Higgins dropped to me in the 4th round. What should I do? I mean, I don't. You mean in terms of trade? This is your team? It sounded like you were on the clock or something. Allen, Henry. Okay, Higgins. I guess I trade Higgins and Kirk for a Breece Hall, who's doubted, for a Higgins and Kirk for. I'm sorry, not Higgins and Kirk, for Breece Hall. For Breece Hall and something. Breece Hall is going after Higgins, but I'd like to get into a Breece Hall and something. Like if you could trade Higgins and Kirk for Breece Hall and I don't know, like a Dotson, I'd be okay with that. Or even someone higher, like maybe you get a Christian Watson or a London with Breece Hall for Higgins and Kirk. People value Kirk a lot, and I like Kirk, but I think you sell him high if you can. Higgins and Kirk for St. Brown, if you're going after one player. Higgins and Kirk for Olave. I think you could get Olave for Higgins and Kirk. And honestly, I'd do it. Maybe not everybody would do it. Some people love Higgins so much they think he's a 2nd rounder. I like Higgins, but he's a 3rd to 4th round player to me. You drop to the 4th, I probably would have taken him maybe there, but I not over a guy like Walker, who you already had. Not over a guy like Ridley. Would I trade maybe Sutton, because maybe people think he's going to do well, or Deontay and Higgins for Ridley? I'd do that. I'd go after Gibbs. Go Higgins and Kirk for Gibbs. Go Higgins and Deontay and Kirk for Gibbs. I'd give it all up for Gibbs on that front. Thank you for the $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Appreciate you. Not everybody's going to feel the same way as I do on Higgins. I like Higgins. I just don't. I'm not floored by him. I'm not enamored by him. This isn't a guy that I want in every draft. He's a 2nd option on an amazing team and an amazing offense, but he's not climbing into my 3rd drafted player territory. And yeah, but Book, you can go. What I'm saying, or Boone. We'll call you Boone. Boone, you can trade for him though. Higgins and another player for Ridley is what I'm saying. That's what I would do. I think Ridley's going to be a top 5, 6, 7 wide receiver. Ridley to the moon. Going to be an absolute monster. Thank you, Andrew, for your $10 hauler. Thank you, Boone, for your $10 hauler. Boone got a $10 in there, too.
To the moon.
To my boy, Boone. Boone to the moon. Boone to the moon. Doing it live. Okay, phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Presented by Russian Collusion, the highest super chatter of the month, $300. DW, and TMT both gifted 250 exclusive memberships in a single live stream, tying each other. These guys are monsters. Try and knock them off so you can be presented by on the phone line screen. Let's see if anybody can knock off those bad boys. And don't forget, we're still doing the old We're still doing the old $20, let's see here, $20 hauler for marker board treatment, bold prediction, $50 on the back if you guys want to drop a bold prediction on the board. You're live on the show. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Apple.
It's
from
Apple?
Buffalo, New York.
Apple?
Yes, sir.
What's up,
yes,
Apple?
Sir, like the fruit.
Yeah.
So, man, I need help on, I actually sent you a super chat earlier about the CD and Dak for Burrow and Chase.
Yeah, don't do that one, bro. In the chat, the
Yeah,
entire
but-
chat agreed. The entire chat agreed.
Yeah, for sure. But the rest of my super chat, like I need a running back bad, bro. Like my running backs are Gibson and Connor, man. Like I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's bad. But that doesn't mean you make that trade necessarily. So let's cook up something different. Okay, so let's take a look at your team. Give me your team.
All right, it's Burrow, QB. I got Chase, Olave. My running backs are Connor and Antonio Gibson. I got Kyle Pitts at tight end. And then my two flexes are Amari Cooper and Christian Watson. I also have Jahan Dotson on the bench. It's a 12-man.
Amari and who?
Amari and Christian Watson at the flex, both of them. And then Dotson on the bench.
Okay. So Dotson needs to get in your lineup. So that means we're trading Amari Cooper away. He's a guy I want to trade away anyway. And I don't know if you can trade Connor and Amari Cooper for like one player. You know, and maybe that player is slightly ahead of Connor. Maybe you got to get a little bit or slightly ahead of Amari. So like if we look at Amari Cooper's ADP rankings on Underdog Fantasy, and his ADP ranking on Underdog Fantasy is at 33 overall, that means Gibbs is 2 spots above him. I see no reason you can't give up Amari and Connor for Gibbs, who's 2 spots above Amari. Stevenson's 1 spot below Amari. Let's see here. And even if you got to go the route, like ETN's 2 or 3 spots below, even if you got to go the route of Breece Hall or, Walker and Breece Hall are below. Is this a Dynasty or redraft?
Oh, just redraft, bro.
Yeah, so, bro, Walker and Hall are miles below Amari Cooper's ADP. So you should be able to give Connor and you should be able to give those 2 guys away. I don't see how you can't.
Connor and well,
Connor
man,
and Amari.
So scared to trade, man. My league is so scared to trade, bro.
Yeah, but maybe that's enough for somebody. Connor and Amari. If you've got to trade like Christian Watson or Dotson on the high with Connor, I would do that too and keep Amari in your lineup, whatever. But you got to just send those 2-for-1s and don't ask for a single player back. Don't get greedy and be like, well, why don't you send me? Just do 2-for-1. That's the allure of the trade. That's what's going to make somebody punch the button because you just said, here, take 2 guys. Take a free guy. Take Connor for free.
And you think Gibson's fine at the RB2? I have him.
No, I don't think that's fine. But you don't have the firepower to make 2 trades here. You're going to have to bank on one of these guys, I suppose. You know, or work the waiver wire. But no, I don't think it's fine.
Or would you recommend Amari and Gibson instead of Amari and Connor and keep Connor as RB2?
I think that's getting greedy, bro. I don't think anybody cares about Gibson right now. I think you got to hope that Gibson catches passes, which I don't know that he will. But you got to get aggressive, especially in a league that doesn't trade. You know what's going to happen in a league that doesn't trade? You're going to say, hey, I'll give you Gibson and Amari for Walker. And the guy's going to go, no, I don't want to. Then you go, okay, what about Connor and Amari? No, I'm already in no mode. I'm already saying no, so no. But if you went to him first and said Connor and Amari, he might have went, I guess, yeah, I could do that. Like, you just got to be careful. These no trading Noahs, they every time they say the word no, they think no more the next time. It's like you could up the trade and they'll still say no. You could up it even more, they'll still say no. You got to be careful with these guys. Make a fair, over exaggerated trade. Get it done. Do it live. Call us back when you got Ramondre or Gibbs or Walker or Breece Hall using Connor and Amari, and then put Dotson right into that lineup, and then you're in business. Then all year you're gonna follow the show. You're gonna hit the waiver wire show every single Sunday evening here on the channel, and we're gonna find you the next Jerick McKinnon, and you're gonna crush the league.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, later. 678 caller, you're live. Who's this? Hold on a second. I might have hung up on everybody. Dial in if you guys want to dial into the show. Phone number's on screen. I don't know. The phone lines are having a little bit of problem today.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Phone lines are on the struggle bus. I apologize. I would have already taken Walker and Hall. So yes, my cousin's drafting. He's like, should I take McLaurin or Lockett? And then now he's like, okay, I'm done with that pick. Now should I take Breece Hall or Walker? It's like, did I not teach you anything? Did I not teach you anything? 678 caller. Who is this and where are you calling from? 678 caller.
Hey, calling from Georgia.
Anthony from Georgia. What's up, my guy, Anthony?
All right, so I have a question. So I drafted Sunday. I got St. Brown in the 5th round as my keeper, and I have the 7th pick of the draft. So I'm just wondering, like, if Bijan goes early, like, who should I take?
Give me a list of the guys that'll be there based on your keepers.
Well, some people are keeping. Someone's keeping JJ. Someone's keeping TMC.
I don't need all that information. I need who are the top players available. So just like list off. Because I'm not gonna.
Well, it's ESPN league, so like Pollard will be there at 1.7. But I'm just wondering if that's early to get him.
So Bijan, Pollard, Garrett Wilson, is he there?
Yeah, he's there. He's there first round.
Okay, is Tyreek Hill available?
No, he's going to be taken.
Okay, is you got St. Brown already? Is
St. Brown is going to be
Chase and
round
JJ are gone.
For
me. I mean, I don't know all the players because you haven't listed every, but I'd say like Bijan's my number one here. Garrett Wilson's probably my 2, unless there's some guys you haven't listed that I don't know about. But I do like Pollard a lot. I don't think that's a bad move. I think he's borderline 12, 13, 14 overall. And in a keeper format where a lot of guys have been kept, Pollard's easily in the 7, 8 overall.
So you think so? If I get Bijan like first round, I mean second round, Garrett Wilson might be there. That's what I'm hoping. So I get Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, and Bijan. But
yeah, I mean you take Bijan first, but yes, if he falls, that's crazy. That's crazy. Or Olave, if Olave falls to the 2nd round.
Yeah, Olave will be there.
Gibbs is Gibbs in a keeper format. It's different to keep Gibbs in round or to draft Gibbs in round 2 in a keeper league.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of players off the board.
I was asking if Gibbs at 2.5 is too early because I feel like he might get taken before my 3rd round.
It's not too early in a keeper league when players are already off the board. 2.5 is fantastic in that setting. So I don't know if you mentioned that in the chat. If I missed that, my bad. But yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's what I was just asking about those 2 questions.
Yeah.
That's about it, Smitty. I mean,
all right.
I'll probably. Thank you.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Okay, I just right now we're cycling people on and off the phone line. I'm not keeping a panel on at all, so you're gonna ask your question, and then I'm gonna bump everybody. Just with the busyness that we're getting, there's no way to keep everybody on the line anymore. At the end of the show, we might do something like that, little panel call at the end, but everybody's gonna be jumping on and off real quick. Cam from Virginia, then Avi, then DPP. Cam, go ahead. You're live.
Yes, sir, Smitty. A quick question. I'm doing my first 14-team league draft tomorrow night. I'm only used to 12-team leagues, and then the commissioner just added 2 people like last minute. So I was seeing if you could give me just some general draft strategy because I've never done it before. So, like, what do you think I should do?
Okay. And G-Money, go Vaughn. Go Vaughn, G-Money. G-Money just dropped a super chat. Said flyer at the end of my draft. Deuce Vaughn or Spears. Spears looks pretty good, I'll be honest. And he's got 1 ACL. I've been pretty critical of him. But go Deuce Vaughn. I'm very excited about Deuce Vaughn. All right, bro. Hit me with your question one more time. I'm sorry. Hit me with the actual part.
Yeah, you're good. Just first time doing 14-team league 14. Draft tomorrow night. And I've never done it before, so I don't really know the strategy going into it. So I'll see what you had.
What pick did you have, did you say?
No, I'm not going to find out till tomorrow.
Okay, so if you get a first-round pick, for a top 6 pick, then you have to top 6, 7 pick. You got to go quarterback. If it's Superflex.
It's not Superflex. No, and it's 3 wide receiver.
Okay, not Superflex. Okay, not super. I'm sorry. So then you're not going quarterback. I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to there's so many variations here. I can't really. All I can tell you is in a 14-teamer. If you keep taking best player available, you're setting yourself up for the best outcome. if you start planning for positions, especially in a 14 team non-Superflex, you're going to end up driving yourself nuts, trying to fit everybody into their role. I will go best player available. If you get the 1, 2, or 3 pick, it's Jamar Chase, JJ, in any order you want. You said 3 wide receivers?
3 wide receiver, yeah.
Okay, Jamar Chase, JJ, whatever order of those guys you want. Bijan's my number 3. Maybe CMC's yours. Trust your gut, but I'm going Bijan. If you get a late pick, there's nothing wrong with the Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, Tony Pollard combination. Any way you go, whether it's one of the wide receivers and Pollard, whether it's Pollard and then one of the wide receivers. By the time you get to the second and the third and fourth round turn, whether you have really close third and fourth round picks where you would take, if you've got a really high third round pick and a really, or actually let's talk about the 2-3 turn. If you're at the 2-3 turn, meaning you get a high pick, let's say 1, 2, or 3, in a 14-teamer, Gibbs is not crazy as that first pick if it's kind of borderline like 24 overall. So if you needed RBs, you're scared that in a 14-teamer running backs get consumed, then I wouldn't be shy about taking Gibbs at the tail end of that 14-team draft, because that could equate to about the top of round 3. Calvin Ridley's a fantastic 3rd-round pick. Walker is an unbelievable 4th-round pick. He goes in the 5th round a lot of the time in 12-team. So I take Walker in a 14-team in 4th round. I take Fields or Burrow in 4 or 5. I mean, I could go on and on, bro. There's really no way to prepare you for a 14-team fully. Just take best player available. Kelsey's an amazing approach as well. It's a little harder in a 14-team league because some of that depth we talked about in a 12-team being so good for a Kelsey build, it gets a little dried out, so it's not quite as lucrative, I think, but he's still a great pick. Hopefully you get a top 3-4 pick and you can take Bijan. That would be my preference. Bijan is the best pick in most any format because the wide receivers are pretty deep. I don't think you necessarily need to go like Hill or Cooper Kupp or anything. I'm going Bijan over those guys without hesitation.
Gotcha, man. That sounds good. I appreciate it, man.
All right, bro. Call back if you have another question. Appreciate you. Later. Let's go over to Avi. Avi, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't got nothing. I just got my 4th overall pick. I know what I'm doing. I just have a point for the guy who said about Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. Guys, this year, just get a top 7 quarterback. I'm telling you, I doubt a lot of teams who don't have a Field, a Joe Burrow, a Mahomes. I'm not saying it's not the only important position, but just get a top 7 quarterback this year. I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, if you didn't have a top 5 or 6 quarterback last year, you were in shambles.
Yeah.
And if you don't remember, why don't you take a trip down memory lane and remember that you said to yourself probably, Smitty's right, early quarterback is the way to go. And that doesn't mean you have to take one in round 2. That just means you're taking your early quarterback in Fields in 3 or 4 if your league is kind of league where quarterbacks go in 3 or 4. If Fields and Burrow go in 4 or 5, you smash it in 4 or 5. You just got to be smart about where you're picking the player. But yeah, there's definitely no reason that anybody should be exiting their draft without T-Law as your final parachute, escape parachute, or Fields or Burrow in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. If you miss out on all 3 of those opportunities, you probably got cute and got screwed.
So let's say most people do a 12-team league. There's going to be 4 teams. 4 teams is a lot. Out of the 12, we don't have one of those guys, and I think they're going to struggle. All right.
Later, Avi. DPP, you're live.
How you doing?
What's up, pal?
Picking out of the 4 spot this year is just 12-man, half PPR. I was just doing some mock drafts. It's usually kind of rare when Jefferson or Chase falls to me, but in that case, you take Bijan over those guys, or
if
what?
it's 3 wide receiver mandatory, I lean Chase probably number 1, and then JJ 2.
It'll be two.
Then I go Bijan and just give everybody the bird as you go up and make the pick, and they start going, "Oh, you took Bijan number 1." Like, who cares? Like, those people don't know what they're doing. Those are magazine drafters, just all collectively like a herd, just saying, "Bijan, what are you doing? He's a rookie. Atlanta, they aren't going to move the ball." You like, here's the guy. The guy's got 4 magazines that are outdated But sitting there and his wife's telling him to come home, he's late, and to pick up milk on the way home. And he's sitting there at the counter because he's standing because he's impatient, can't even sit down. He's got all of his papers all over, and he laughs at you and says to you as you walk by, don't you know Ritter's? You're going to trust Ritter? You're going to trust Ritter? This team was the number 1 rushing team in the National Football League last year without Bijan.
You actually just explained one of the guys in our league to the T, even with the kid and everything. And
Yeah, it's absolutely him. He's got 3 kids, a job he hates, and he's got the biggest smile on his face. You know, he hides it well, but here he is critiquing you and talking about how you shouldn't be taking Bijan at 3 overall when in his soul he knows it's the right move and he's going to regret every minute of what he's saying. But yeah, Bijan is the number 1 running back for me. He looks like the LaDainian Tomlinson, and he's rushing for the number 1 rushing offense in the National Football League between the tackles that ran the ball 569 times last year, which means that even if Bijan gets only half of the work in 2023, he's getting more carries than we want him to get. Was he going to get 300 carries? You know? Like, we don't want him to rush the ball 300 times. So what are people saying?
No, he'll die.
They're going to run the ball 550 times. He only needs to run the ball 240 times, 250 times, and get 55, 65 receptions, which he can easily do. All of his highlights are receptions. He's an absolute machine.
Is it getting too cute if I take Gibbs and Ridley next from that 4 spot?
No,
or
that's
a bit early.
No, that's fine. I'm fine with it. I mean, make sure that like St. Brown's not there, Garrett Wilson didn't fall, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. All right.
All right, bro.
Appreciate
you.
Night. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. My cousin's asking me, and these running backs, yeah, McKinnon, and Sharps. But you need Sharps. But Sharps is a must. I'm going to make him take such a big lap if he ends up drafting Walker. He drafted Walker, but without Charbonnet. 954 caller, you're live. Who is this?
It's Julian.
Julian, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from South Florida.
What's up, Julian?
I made it on the show. Hey, new watcher. Watched a couple of your videos. Checked out some Moon Men. Did a draft last night. Can I give you my guys and get your thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me go over to I got 3 super chats here. Let me get these super chats out of the way, and then I'll do the marker board session with you here. This one from No Mercy says you're only in one league, and you have to choose between Burrow and Fields. In the 5, I take Fields if I had to right now in this moment in time. I know that might sound weird to people, but I've talked this up for a while. What? Are you talking, Julian?
Oh no,
all right, hang tight,
wife
Julian.
is making fun of me.
Okay, mute real quick for me, and I'll come right back to you. So No Mercy.
Yeah, no problem.
I would take Fields, bro. Fields in the 5th. I do it live, and I love both of them. If one goes, that's fine. You got an amazing option, so that's easy. Bryson, would you trade Najee for Calvin Ridley? I'd be getting Ridley. I probably would say that's a very even trade. Najee's got top of 4 round ADP. Ridley's got 2 to 3 turn value. So Ridley's got higher ADP on Underdog. He's a 2.11 to 2.12 guy. And Najee's like climbing. And I like Najee. He got 4 yards per carry, 4.5 yards per carry plus last night. And so I'm very, very, very excited about what he brought to the table. He looks healthy. I'm very, very excited about what Najee can do in 2023, but I think Ridley is a tad bit safer, especially in PPR. So that's a great question. And Mason dropping a super chat here. Mason, you didn't attach anything. Let me see if Mason has a question. He doesn't, but Mason, thank you for the $5 hauler. You are an absolute monster and appreciate your appreciation. Mark Cleveland dropping this right here. Mark Cleveland with a super chat. Pollard, Chubb, Diggs, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Henry, and St. Brown. Rank them, please, for 8th pick. Thanks. Great show. Pollard, Chubb, Diggs, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Henry, St. Brown. This is so tough because Henry deserves more respect than I give him. I admit that, but I'm still scared to death that he's going to get hurt. So at the end of the day, I can't rank him where he probably should be getting ranked. I know people are going to call it crazy half the time, but I'm going to go with I'm probably going to go with Garrett Wilson. Then I'm probably going to go with St. Brown. I'm probably going to go with Pollard. Then I'm going to go with Diggs, which I know people are going to be out of their mind that I said Diggs after those wide receivers, but I just don't trust Diggs right now. I don't trust his headspace. I just don't know how he's going to play, and I'd rather bank on a guy I think is going to be a baller. So Diggs and A.J. Brown are kind of tied, I'd say. And then Chubb right after that, and then Henry. That's how I'd rank them, but that's me. And in trade market value, you might have to do a different order because of the command that people have for those guys, and you could sell Henry for more than I probably value him. Some of these guys that might be there if Bijan goes early are Eckler, Saquon, Henry, Diggs, Adams, Pollard. You like any of those guys? You like Pollard the best out of those guys. So if Bijan goes early, I mean, Eckler is tough to pass on, I admit, and I probably would slightly want to lean that way just because it feels like value you can trade, and there's just a lot of reasons why that makes sense. But if like I always say, if I'm in a vacuum, a door is closing, I have to I choose an answer, and then I go into a coma for 17 straight weeks and wake up and hear the answer, who scored more, Pollard or Eckler. I feel like it's going to be Pollard, but I don't know that the market value is going to agree with me, and therefore it's like, you can get Pollard sometimes in the second round. So this is not an easy question to answer. Just because I like Pollard more doesn't mean I draft him ahead. I want to trade down in that case. So this is almost a trick question. Adams is below all those guys for me because I don't trust his situation. Diggs is probably, I guess, the safest player, which is crazy to say, other than Pollard. Maybe Saquon. Saquon's probably the safest player, then Pollard, then Diggs over Eckler, Adams, but that's just me. I like Pollard a lot. I'm willing to roll the dice on Pollard in first round value. If push comes to shove, you don't think you can make trades, Pollard's a crazy move, but it's fun, and I believe in him. And he's a Mars man for a reason. All right, Julian, hit me with your team real quick, and then I'll hit these super chats after. Tell me your squad, and let's break it down.
All right, cool. It's a 12-man league, 3 wide receivers, PPR to flex.
All right, hit me with it.
I'll give you the names. I'll give you the names in order from the draft. I was in the 9th spot.
Hit me with it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hit me with it, bro.
Okay.
We're waiting.
All right, so I went 9th spot. I went Bijan.
Okay.
Amar St. Brown.
Okay.
Keenan Allen. Gibbs. DJ Moore. Tua. Dotson. Swift. Joku. Charbonnet. Anthony Richardson. Jalen Hyatt.
Wait. Was Njoku? Sorry, I got lost at the Swift part. Is Njoku? Who else?
It's yeah. So you got DJ Moore, you got Tua, Dotson, Swift, Joku.
Okay.
Charbonnet. Richardson.
Okay.
Jalen Hyatt.
Okay. All right, that's good.
And Tank Dell and Deuce Vaughn.
Okay. I mean, it's a good team. The only thing I don't like is this Keenan Allen pick in the 3rd round. That's crazy to me. And the crazier part is you still drafted a phenomenal team with that. And look, I could be wrong on Keenan Allen. I know a lot of people think he's going to prove me wrong and everything. But to still get Gibbs, I would have went Gibbs there. And you still got him. But the part that bothers me is you probably still could have got like a Kenneth Walker in Gibbs. You could have got, Ridley in Gibbs. But, trust your gut. If Keenan Allen's your guy, you still got an amazing team. This seems awfully high, this Tua pick. I don't like your quarterback situation. I don't think Tua stays upright all season, but I could be wrong there as well. But I mean, I just like, I imagine what your team would look like with a better third drafted player, but that's just me. I could be wrong. A lot of people disagree with me.
No.
on that.
I appreciate it, Smitty. Really went in the second round, so I couldn't get him, and it's a 3 wide receiver league, so I kind of was like, let me try to grab Allen.
What other wide receivers were there? And what wide receivers went after him? Do you know?
I was trying to just decide between Allen and T. Higgins in a PPR.
Allen and T. Higgins. Yeah, Higgins. I probably like Higgins a little bit more, but were there other players there that maybe like
Hopkins was there.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel.
I like Debo more.
Amari Cooper.
Can you
trade
Debo. Keenan Allen for Debo? I'd try that.
Yeah, I mean, I could always give it a shot, but
yeah, then I really like the team. Or trade Keenan Allen for Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Can you even start? Let's see here. Can you start? So if you did that, you'd have Gibbs, Bijan. Can you start 3 running backs?
I could throw one in my flex. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see Kenneth Walker on this team. I would trade Keenan Allen for Kenneth Walker, but go try it for Debo first.
Okay, I appreciate the time.
All right,
Keep
man.
up the good work, Smitty.
Yeah, glad to have you as a new listener, pal. Later.
All right, bro.
Okay. What do we got here? Super chats from Morty. Morty. I don't think Morty left a message. Let's see if he dropped another question. He did. So I had a draft, and I want to thank you for the info. It's a super flex, and I had the 3rd pick. I got Allen Love at QB. I got Bijan Walker, Swift, Herbs, wide receiver. I got Wilson, Smith, Pickens, and JSN, I think you mean, instead of Jan. Love at QB. Got Love at QB. Bijan Walker, Swift. Love the RBs. Wilson, Devontae Smith, Pickens. Love the wide receivers. Had a draft. Want to get your okay. Yeah. As far as like trades, I mean, you got Allen, Love at QB. I assume this is yes, a super flex. That's a great QB combo, bro. Absolute great QB combo. Unbelievable. That I'm telling you, Jordan Love's winning leagues in Superflex. He's single-handedly winning leagues, and people are going to be ashamed of themselves that they didn't take him seriously when I started to talk him up months and months ago as the Superflex league-winning 4th or 3rd round pick in some cases, but 4th and 5th round pick in early Superflex drafts. Jordan Love's going to win leagues for people single-handedly as a Superflex option because of what it allowed you to do to ignore your QB2 for as long as you got to take a non-QB in round 2 and 3. You got to clean up on Bijan's. You got to clean up on Chase and Garrett Wilson's and whatever in the 2nd and 3rd round and come back around and get Jordan Love. It was harder to get him, and it's harder now to get him as the 4th rounder in Superflex. You might have to go the 3rd round, but he's still worth it there depending on how the quarterbacks are falling. As far as this team, I don't know that you need to make any trades. I love this team. I love all the players you have. There's no one here that feels like a get-rid-of player, and a lot of these guys need to gain value, like we've been talking about so much in the past couple of days with some of these teams, that you can't really make a move. Smitty, we need to pick Bijan. We need a pick Bijan button for FAQs. I might look into that, JCIM. I appreciate you dropping that. Thank you, Morty, for your super chat. Thank you, JCIM. Thank you all for your super chat so far. We got 344 of you in the building. Please hit that thumb up button on your way in the door, on the way out the door. You know it. Do it live. We've got 2 more super chats here, and then we got the Bruce on the phone. Bruce, I'm coming for you. Hang tight real quick. Let me get through these. This one is from 217. It says pick 2, Gibbs, Andrews, Ridley, full PPR. Give me the Gibbs and Ridley, and then I'll go a little bit later shopping, whether it's Waller, whether it's Okonkwo and Kincaid, and I'd rather have the Gibbs and Ridley stacked. Do it live. Do it now. Mason with a super chat. Hey, Smitty, I have Mahomes, Eckler, ETN, A.J. Brown, Jeudy, Ingram, Pittman, Brees, Khalil Herbert, Charbonnet, Thielen. How could I get another wide receiver? I mean, Eckler, ETN, AJ Brown, Jeudy. I hate Jeudy. That you didn't listen to me, Mason, but that's okay. I mean, I don't know if you can trade him. I mean, Jeudy. I love Brees. I love Eckler. I love ET. I mean, I like Eckler. I like Eckler. I love ETN. I love Brees. Those wide receivers are very, very thin, bro. If I'm you, oh my God. Let's see here. I mean, AJ Brown's amazing, but Jeudy, let's go Jeudy. Jeudy, and maybe you got to trade Eckler, bro. I mean, your team is good, though. I don't want you to think you couldn't, like, somehow, if you add the waiver wire gem of the year, win this league, you could. All it would take is that one move. But Eckler is not somebody I necessarily want to draft anyway. I like him. Obviously, I like him. But what if you traded him downgraded him into Pollard and got a Christian Watson? Here's what I'd do, Mason. I go to the Christian Watson owner. I go to the London owner. I go to the Ridley owner, and I see what RB they have, and I see if that RB they have can be combined with Ridley or Christian Watson or Dotson or those guys, and see if you can do a 2-for-1. It's got to be a big baller, though, bro. You can't, if you go Dotson, even though I love Dotson, you can't go get a mediocre. You can't go get Aaron Jones. You got to get literally like a Walker and Christian Watson, a London and Gibbs. Try and trade Eckler into Gibbs, into Walker. Better yet, go to the Gibbs owner, go to the Walker owner, go to the Brees Hall owner, and go to maybe the Pollard owner and see what wide receivers they have. If they have Christian Watson, London, or Ridley, or maybe a couple others, you get that 2-for-1 deal done. And Eckler should get it done. Eckler should get it done. I would love to see you make a move like that. That's a smart move, in my opinion. That's the move to make here. I got 2 more super chats, but I'm going to hit Brucey first, then come back for these. Bruce, what's up? Long time no talk, Bruce. Where have you been, number one, and how are you doing?
I've been good. I've been working. I've been working midnight to 7 in the morning, and then I get up, or 7 at night, and I get up and I do it all over again.
That's no excuse. That sounds like excuses to me, Brucey. We need you here. We need you here on the live streams.
I listen.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
All right,
I got a question. Well, first, can you put my dad on a lap? Because he said that I told him that to draft, because he got the number 1 overall pick. I told him to draft Bijan. He said he's unproven. I'm taking CMC.
Well, I don't necessarily want to send him on a lap because he took CMC over Bijan. That's a preference. It's understandable, But to I think to say Bijan's unproven, can't do this, can't do that. That's when you do potentially go on a lap, sure. But I don't know if I would send him on a lap for the move necessarily. But we'll send him on a lap anyway. What's your pop's name?
His name's Bruce. I'm junior.
Oh, that's right.
He's senior.
Brucey Senior. Brucey Senior. Take a lap. But, the Christian McCaffrey move is debatable. What else is up, Brucey?
And my question is, I have my draft Sunday same time as my dad. So my thing is, which is the position I could wait to the longest? Which one can I punt on?
What position?
Would it be yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What position? Like punt wide receiver? I don't really know that that's not conducive to best player available, Brucey. Best player available dictates you don't make any decisions like that till you're on the clock.
Yeah, because I was thinking okay, well I'll wait to the 5th or 6th round. I'll draft my quarterback, and then I'll punt the quarterback, or I'll wait later and I'll wait for a running back. That's what I meant. Later on my running back.
Yeah, that's planning things out. You can't plan things out. You don't know how the flow is going to go. I don't punt any position. I punt players. I don't punt positions. I can't answer that question. People try to trap me into that question all the time. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. This is a best player available guy you're looking at right here. My channel always will be, but it will lead you down to your secondary avenue of strategy. And best player available might lead you into running back, running back, running back. Best player available might lead you into 0 RB. Best player available might lead you into hero RB. And yes, sometimes you go Bijan round 1 and you're like, my intention is to go hero RB. And that's fine and dandy. But when you get down to round 2 or round 3 and Gibbs is sitting there in round 3 and you got to go Gibby, or Pollard's there at the bottom of round 2, you got to change approaches and say, guess what? RB, here we come. You know, or RB wide receiver, going hero running back, and then Gibbs is there. Never mind. We're going running back, wide receiver, running back. And that's it. That's it.
Because I got the number 1 pick, and I'm debating between Jamar Chase and Bijan. And I'm like, I'm leaning towards to get in the stack, but then I'm like, I'm leaning towards Atlanta for the rushing. And which one do you think? The tripod is better, or Bijan?
The tripod is better than Bijan. Well, you got to give me 2 players for 2 players. Bijan and who versus what's the stack of what are we talking about? Superflex?
We're talking about redraft, full PPR.
1 QB or 2 QB?
So it'd be 2.
Okay, so you're talking about Burrow, and are you talking about Burrow, the Burrow stack?
Yeah, the Burrow stack.
Yeah, well, Burrow's top 5 or 6 in a Superflex, so it's not even close. Bijan's a second rounder. I love Bijan. I love Bijan. But if you get a 1 through 6 pick, you have to take a quarterback. You got to take Fields or Burrow, who is going to be there at 5 or 6, and smash your league. You can't take Jamar Chase. You can't take Bijan. As much as we love those guys, 2 QBs different. Superflex is different. You have to go with Fields or Burrow, or you're going to be sorry. The recipe's there. Not to mention, every time I've gone through a Superflex question or video, it's been Fields or Burrow, and then you go wide receiver, running back, or running back, wide receiver, or wide receiver, best player available that's non-QB, and then you get into round 3 or get round 4, round 4, 5, Love has been there. Now it's probably 3, 4. But Love has been the answer to win your leagues as your second quarterback paired with Fields or Burrow. Championship. Absolute straight championship. Yes, you can do it with Lamar. Yes, you can do it with Herbert. But much prefer Fields or Burrow in Superflex, and Jordan Love is QB2. It's the formula that's been setting people up to win championship after championship, and we're going to see it all come to fruition at the end of the year when all these Jordan Love Superflex owners come in and say, Smitty, you had it, bro. You had it. We did it. We're the champion. We've got Jordan Love as our Superflex QB2, and we smashed it in 2023. Smashed it.
And I got one thing on this Trey Lance thing that I don't know if you think. They were talking about Dak getting a contract extension. Do you think they put Trey Lance there to put Dak, if you don't have a good year, if you don't improve or take us further in the playoffs, then we're going to roll with this guy?
No, I mean, I think they did this as a precautionary measure. Worried about Dak staying healthy. Dak's been looking shaky. Dak's confidence might be a little rattled. The defense has been giving him fits, man. And that's kind of good because it's one of the best defenses in the league and they get to practice against them. But, I mean, maybe it's easier playing football against non-Dallas Cowboy defensive players for him on Sundays, and that's a good thing in a way. But Dak's been rattled. The offense is changing. McCarthy could fail him. Like, we keep pretending like this change will be all roses and white doves, just waiting for us at the pearly fantasy gates at the end of the season in terms of the Cowboy production. But Kellen Moore leaving, McCarthy taking over, changing things, wanting to run more, it could screw Dak up. Dak could get set up to fail, and that's not necessarily good for Trey, because if Trey did have to go in there, which he wouldn't, Cooper Rush would go in. And Cooper Rush might do pretty good. He's actually not a bad player. He's a Zappy on steroids. And you get him in there, and I don't think Trey Lance is a shot in hell at playing this year unless both Dak and Dak gets hurt and Cooper Rush either gets hurt or fails, and then Trey comes in or something. But this move is more about let's get him and let's cultivate him. And if he doesn't work out, no big deal. But if he ends up being something special, if we can cultivate him at 23 years old, cultivate him at 23, and he ends up, look at, how old's Jordan Love? Look up Jordan Love. This is his first year. How old, Ziggy, how old is Jordan Love?
Jordan Love is 24 years old
and
was born on November 2nd, 1998.
So give Jordan Love, seems like Jordan Love's about 30 years old at this point. He's been sitting on the bench marinating, but I can't believe he's actually 24 years old. But Jordan Love, Trey Lance is 23. Trey Lance going into the season, let's say it's a wasted season, going into the next season, and then going into the next season, let's say, if they were to keep him in that context, that would be, and I don't know, he'll have a new contract at that point. We'll have to see what happens, but that is something that I could see in Dallas. He likes it there. They're cultivating him. If he gets a shot at 25 years old, that's extremely young. He's got plenty of time. Do I think it'll work? I don't know. Is his confidence shattered? Probably. But, it is what it is.
Okay. All right, that's all I had for you, Smitty. I'll make sure I call in when I'm working.
Yeah, definitely call in more often. We're definitely, I'm trying to find the right screen here. We're definitely needing you here more, Brucey. You definitely need to show up more. Guys, don't forget Code Smitty. We're drafting tonight on Underdog Fantasy. Let me put Code Smitty here on the screen whenever I'm here, so everybody knows to use Code Smitty Underdog Fantasy. Code Smitty.
And put your website up there too.
Do it live. All right, thank you, Brucey. Appreciate you.
Yeah, put your website up there too.
Right. Thank you, Brucey.
No problem. See you.
Later. Oh, man, I miss hearing the Bruce. Bruce finally calling back in. Okay, super chats. Here we go. Sick Nasty. What is Ken Walker's value in Dynasty trade-wise? Not good enough to trade him. I mean, if you're going after him, do it. Do it because he's got 4th to 5th round value. In Dynasty, 3rd to 4th round value. In redraft, 4th to 5th. 4th to 5th. I don't trade him in Dynasty. You're not going to get enough, so his value is not good enough. But do I acquire him in 3rd round drafted value? Absolutely. I love Kenneth Walker at 3rd round value. I'll trade for him at 3rd round value. And what was this other question by Sick Nasty? It was okay. It was just Ken Walker. I would take him like at this 2-3 turn in a Dynasty startup. I love Kenneth Walker that much. Of course, I'm cuffing Charbonnet. P. Ryan and Dodson. Thank you, Sick Nasty. P. Ryan and Dodson for Breece. I would take Breece Hall in a millisecond. In a millisecond. I'm good at wide receiver. Go get Breece Hall. This Breece Hall doubt is driving me nuts. And when I say driving me nuts, I mean in a good way because he's an absolute gem. In the making, about to explode in 2023, coming off his ACL tear that everybody's petrified Peter about. He's going to be fine. Bryce Young doing some decent things, running around, scrambling. I must say, the touch looks pretty good. Touchdown grab by Adam Thielen, who could be kind of underrated wide receiver 4 material this year. Let's be honest, guys. Adam Thielen ain't that bad. It could be worse. But that's a good little, premiere, little good showing. We got Brock Purdy out on the field warming up, and that game is upcoming, I believe. Let me see if that game is going to be on. I got the YouTube DirecTV, or not DirecTV, the Sunday Ticket app working here, and I don't really know. Some of this stuff is it's not as user friendly yet as I would like it to be. I kind of feel like they should have a little bit more apparent upfront build, like the I don't know if you have to go to the NFL section to find it, but they should have like a button that's right there in the front of everything that says go to the NFL Sunday Ticket area, but you have to instead go to the magnifying glass. I got to type in NFL to find the actual NFL like landing page. NFL. I hope this is cleaned up for Monday. NFL Sunday Ticket. Like I got to go search for the channel. Here are the 3 games that are on. I don't see the Niner game. Where's the Niner games? The Niner game not even available to be seen. That's frustrating. NFL Sunday Ticket. Aren't I supposed to have access to pretty much everything? Like what in the hell is going on here? What's going on here? Not good. Not good. Not happy. Not a happy camper right now. NFL Sunday Ticket. Okay? Not feeling very, very taken care of here yet so far. Terrell with a super chat. Do you have cheat sheets with rankings almost like a checklist for my home league? Absolutely, bro. I've had my content site for longer than anybody really that you can find since 2003. So the Fantasy Football Show pretty much invented as far as I know. I can't guarantee that I invented it because somebody could have had it up on some little forum or tiny little blog somewhere. But I essentially had one of, if not the very first, full-fledged customer-facing instant-based trade calculators, and that's on thefantasyfootballshow.com. Bold predictions, articles here, rankings galore, bro. PPR, they're all PPR, or they're all half PPR essentially now. I'm going to change that key to say 0.5 PPR, just because it's in the middle and it makes sense for all rankings essentially. But they're all about 0.5 PPR to 1 point PPR. They're Superflex, non-Superflex, Dynasty, redraft, Super Rookie, top 200s. Go get your rankings on, baby, at thefantasyfootballshow.com. Appreciate you, Terrell. And let's do it live. Yeah, go get them now, Terrell. Terrell, you still here? You'll love the site, bro. I got text advice. I got a text line. You can buy the lifetime content membership. There's one that comes with 2 years of text advice. So check it out. You will enjoy thefantasyfootballshow.com. Is there a scenario you take Kamara 5.1? Seems too early. I suppose there's a scenario depending on the running backs getting gobbled up G-money or G-men. But I'd probably say in general that's too high. But I do love Kamara in round 6. 6.1, sure. 5.1 seems a tad early. So I'm going to say no on that. But loosely base say no. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what's going to happen, my guy. Let's see here. Reebok says, I've got all the NFL games selected at NFL Red Zone. I've had YouTube TV for 5+ years, I believe. Yeah, I don't think the Niner game's available. The preseason is kind of bunk. Not during the season. It should be on NFL Network. Okay, let me check NFL Network and just see. I don't see it though. Sometimes things are blacked out, and it's really weird how they do it. I don't see the Niner game on NFL Network anywhere. Maybe I'm not looking in the right place. Hold on. I don't see it. Nope. Buffalo Bills, Bears, Seahawks, Packers, Cardinals, Minnesota Vikings, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans. I don't see it yet. Thielen will have 833 yards and 9 TDs. Definitely could be better than we anticipate. Adam Thielen's not a bad wide receiver 4. We just got to admit it that he can do it again. You know, that kind of production, like 907, like he could. Smitty, you have any thoughts on Tennessee Chestnut? He looked good last 2 weeks. Not really. I'll give it a look-see, Russian. I appreciate you, by the way. I'm so glad you didn't do that trade, and I thank you for your super chat. Anthony with the $5 holler traded Stevenson and Myers for Dotson, Khalil Herbert, and a late first in PPR Dynasty. Traded Stevenson and Myers for Dotson, Khalil. I don't mind that. I mean, Stevenson's interesting this year. I very much like him. He was a big favorite of this channel heading into the last 2 years. We've loved Stevenson. I've loved Stevenson. Even when he was a rookie, his preseason, I came out and said, this guy's the future starter in New England, and he's going to be a monster. He ripped off 2 preseason touchdowns. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I've been on the Stevenson train ever since. But this year, I'm a little bit gun shy of Bill Belichick and what he's doing with them. He looked good in the preseason, though. I do like Stevenson. But at the end of the day, if you're going to get Dotson and Khalil Herbert and a first rounder, I don't hate it. But it's certainly, with your situation, didn't necessarily, I would say, hurt you at the end of the day if Dotson becomes a monster and if Khalil Herbert does some things. It could be a good move for you. I would maybe try and flip the first rounder and maybe, I don't know, maybe CMC to go get Bijan. I'd maybe flip the first rounder and another player to upgrade somewhere. And then I think I'd feel really good about the trade all in all, sum total, if you went ahead and made a move like that and just kind of, use that draft pick to then flip what you kind of got and turn it into something just a little bit better. Thank you, Collusion. Thank you, G-Men. Thank you, Terrell. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Gabriel. Appreciate you guys dropping those super chats, and appreciate every single one of you in here. Thought Young made some good throws. He looked pretty good. Let's see here. I don't know what Trey's saying. Trey's saying. Frank says Mingo takes big hit and keeps moving. Mingo's got some upside. Mingo's got some real decent upside. We haven't talked about him a lot lately, and it's not that we've jumped off the Mingo wagon. It's just there hasn't been a lot going on for Mingo lately, and so maybe we start talking about him more and more. Let me see. Reebok's telling me to hit record on it. I don't think the 49er game is available to me. I'm looking. I don't see it at all. I'm looking through all the channels, all the NFL Network channels. I don't see it. Maybe, let me see if I can pull up the 49ers through a search and find out. Okay, 3 days ago, 12 days ago, nothing upcoming here for the 49ers, and I do have them added to my library. So there's no game available to me, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I believe when I got the NFL Sunday ticket, actually, Ron, it did say the preseason was all included. It's just there's blackout games that I think it's stupid. I'm in Arizona. Like, why are you going to black out the Niner game for me? Come on. Let me look one more time. Bills, Bears, Seahawks, Packers, Cardinals, Vikings. That game's there. Patriots, Tennessee. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's another channel. Yeah, there's another NFL Network channel that I had to add. I don't know if it hit it or what, but there it is. When I add NFL Network, sometimes it hides the channels on the guide until you enable them. And there were 2 NFL Network channels hidden. If anybody needs to know how to do that, go on the web and click on Live Guide and scroll down to whenever you add channels, it'll have them hidden for some reason sometimes on YouTube TV. I don't know why. It's pretty stupid. But we're good to go. We're good to go. We got the Niner game. Joining this game live, which is right before it, and then we'll be able to see that one. I've got all the other games kind of. This is really going to be interesting viewing it through the NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. I'm excited about it, but it's going to be kind of wild to try it all out. $20 holler. $20 holler from my man Vega.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Vega. My man Vega. Appreciate you, buddy boy. Vega dropping it like it's hot here. Rate my team, brother. 10-man pick 6, 2 QB league, 1 QB Geno, QB 2 Jordan Love. Underrated. Yeah, the rest of this team better be absolutely bonkers, and I think it is. Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, DJ Moore. Very, very good. Running backs are Bijan, Nick Chubb, Waller, and flexes James Conner. I like it. I honestly think Conner's a tradable piece. If you could trade Conner and Geno to get Fields or T. Law, I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'd try and trade Conner. I think the Cardinals are going to have a tough time moving the football, and he lives off touchdowns, and the Cardinals aren't going to be anywhere near the end zone this year. So good squad. Conner's the trade piece, and definitely still trying to upgrade that QB room. Even if you like Geno, I know some people do. I like Jordan Love as your second quarterback. Yeah. Check the history of great kickers. Tucker in the prime of his career, says Daddy Dennis. I don't know if anybody disagrees with you. Rashad White, 75 catches and 1,200 rushing yards, says Frank. Today's news isn't good for that, Frank. I think right now he's splitting reps with Sean Tucker. And Sean Tucker ran tough. And Sean Tucker was a guy we really liked. Rachaad White is a complete avoid at this moment in time for me. Not that he can't earn my respect back. I love the guy. I love him. I shouldn't say respect. I respect him hardcore, but I just don't think that's a wise move, banking on Rachaad White as your running back 2 this year. A flex I'd be okay with, but I'm just not super fond of the value. Super fond of the value of Rachaad White right now. Kamara and a 24 third anywhere. Kamara for a 24 third rounder anywhere close to a deal? Anywhere close to a deal? No, I mean, Kamara is worth way more than a 24 third rounder. Who cares about a 24 third rounder? You gotta, if you're trying to get Kamara, you're not gonna get him for a 24 third rounder. You'd have to give up probably a late first rounder, and I hate to say that, but Kamara is going to win people championships this year. He's been one of the best calls, I think, and I know it hasn't happened yet, but he looks so good in the preseason game. He looks strong, and they utilized him, and Carr is going to have the offense moving. He could win championships this year. So I'm not saying you mortgage the future for 1 year, but if I had Kamara and somebody came to me and said, I'll give you 3 second rounders, I'd say, I don't care about second rounders. I'll trade Kamara maybe for a first rounder, but if not, I'd rather keep him, you know? So Kamara to the moon this year, steal. We stole him all off season long away from so many people. Drafted team: Burrow, Pollard, Gibbs, Chase, Pickens, Musgrave, Walker, Javonte, Charbonnet, Vaughn, Dobbs, Dotson, JSN. Thanks, Smitty. Smitty is the truth, y'all. G-Money, this is G-Money's team. G-Money was drafting tonight, and he crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. Look at this team. Burrow, Pollard, those were his 2 keepers, though. Gibbs, Jamar Chase. Chase was his first pick after the keepers. Gibbs was his second. Pickens, Musgrave, Walker, Javonte, Charbonnet, Vaughn, Dotson, JSN. Absolutely smashed it. I couldn't have done a better job myself, G-Money. To the moon.
To the moon.
Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable team, G-Money. And that's a $20 hauler. I can't thank you enough for dropping that $20 hauler on screen. And then I got another from Golf. I want to do a little make it rain moment here for both of you guys. Appreciate you both. You're absolute monsters. Let's go.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
My boys, G-Money. Appreciate you, G-Money. Appreciate you, Sick Nasty. Appreciate you, Golf, dropping your $20 hauler, throwing rocket ships up in the air like an absolute monster. We got a 405 caller. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Deontay, or I'm Harvest in the chat, but it's from Oklahoma.
What's your name in the chat? Harvest?
Yeah, Harvest.
Harvest from Oklahoma. What's up, Harvest?
Oh, not much. I did want to kind of brag a little bit. Somebody dropped Alvin Kamara for Tyler Algier, and I had the first waiver wire pickup, so I picked him up. so I got Alvin Kamara on the bench.
Hey, are you watching the show right now?
Yeah.
Is it on screen?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Okay, lean forward a little bit. Lean forward. I got to tell you something.
Got him.
Bro dropped Alvin. Bro dropped Alvin Kamara. Bro. oh, that's gonna win.
But I won this league last year too. It's a 10-man league, and I'm kind of just like, man, y'all are killing me. It's like, what's going on?
Oh man, that's a sad day.
But okay, so yeah, the second question, it's the same movement. I got Bijan and Gibbs as my running back, and then of course I got T-Law, and then for my receivers I got Wilson and Olave.
You got.
I kind of have a two wide receivers. I got Wilson, Olave, London, Pickens. So a little too many wide receivers.
Yeah, a little hard to hear you in the background, but Good squad, bro. Good squad. I like it.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the whole album Canary thing because you were talking about them, but I appreciate you taking my comment.
That's a smash, man. That's a smash. Good luck with the trades. Who are your wide receivers one more time?
Wilson, Olave, Watson, London, and Pickens.
Okay, and your running backs?
Gibbs and Bijan.
And your quarterback?
T-Law.
Yeah, take it to the bank. Just walk straight to the bank, bro. Love it. Good job. Good team, man. Call in tomorrow or call in tonight. We're drafting tonight.
All right, then.
All right, later. That's great. Golf dropping another $20 hauler on the screen. Appreciate you, Golf. My man, Golf. Doing it live, Golf. Doing it live, pal. Appreciate you. Where's that button?
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Golf, thank you. Says, see y'all tonight for draft night. Yes, we'll be here doing the drafts. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Make sure you guys hit that link that's pinned in the live chat, and you're gonna have a blast tonight drafting with us. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Hit the link. It's in the live chat. Let me paste it in here as well. I got it right here. Okay. Wow, I spend some time with the family. What is he saying here? Well, I spent some time with the family, and look what happens. What am I missing? Yeah, I mean, we're here every day, though, at 8 p.m. Eastern, so it shouldn't be a surprise. Vega dropping the $5 hauler. My bench slots are Brock Purdy, Dameon Pierce, Okonkwo, Veda. What is this? Let me see what Veda has. What's up, Silver? Appreciate Silver being here. Vega says he has, okay, Bijan Robinson and Chubb, Waller, James Conner. Okay, this is the James Conner. Your bench. Okay, so I like Dameon Pierce more than I like James Conner. Part of me wants you to trade Conner and I still want to trade Conner and Geno. You might even use Dobbs, Romeo Dobbs right now. People love him. You might be able to trade him away and get that quarterback upgrade. First big trade in Moonman, Aaron Jones and MT for JT and Gabe Davis. Wow, Overcome. I like that JT side, to be honest. I don't know. Rockout, you're an owner of Aaron Jones. You and I did an Aaron Jones trade. Would you rather have JT? I'd rather have JT. I mean, because JT could go in the, I don't like him in the second round right now, but as a third rounder, and Aaron Jones is not a guy you take in the third round. He takes a guy you take in the fourth or fifth round. Don't you think that's a good deal even from somebody that owns Aaron Jones, or no?
Yeah, JT could potentially do some things, and especially if he goes to a certain situation.
I'm going to have to make a ruling on this and say that the guy that got JT, I'm going to go ahead and make a ruling, the JT owner, the new JT owner.
Yeah, I like JT.
Got him.
Man, that's a big Moonman trade. Sick Nasty, thank you for the super chat. Golf, thank you. G Money, thank you. Overcome, appreciate you. Golf said, see you later tonight, guys. Vega dropping that update on his bench. Alfonso dropping his super chat, says, bet on Tank or Tony. Rate my team. I probably bet on, Tank is safer. Tony's got higher upside, more risk, but Tank is like a 8 to 10 TD guy potentially. Even if ETN is bowling out this year, Tank still might get that. Your team, Burrow, Jacobs, Gibbs, Hill, CD, DK, Ingram. New to the channel, love the content. Not a big Jacobs guy. I'm trading Jacobs. I'm trying to get Walker. I'd even take Breece Hall over Jacobs, and I know a lot of people don't agree with that. You obviously can get more, though. The fair market value commands that Breece Hall, who's going 4-5, is not as highly ranked as Jacobs, even with Jacobs not even being around right now. But I trade Jacobs for Hall. I trade Jacobs for Walker. I'd trade him straight up for Walker and Charbonnet. And I'd probably go after a couple other RBs. I'd obviously have to give up more, but I want to go get Tony Pollard. Those are just a few names, but I definitely like the team. I just don't like the Jacobs piece, but trust your gut if Jacobs is your guy. Russian collusion with the $10 hauler. Russian, appreciate you.
To the moon.
Russian says, Commish Smitty in Marsman League. We cannot put suspended players on IR. IR's typically designated for injured reserve, not suspended reserve. But this is something that we didn't necessarily have in the rules, therefore I don't know that we change it. If there was a change that needed to be made, both leagues would, I think, have to agree to this big change because the league is mirrored. And so if the entire league voted unanimously to allow it, I would let it fly because that's how I commish. But the entire league would have to be completely unanimous in that decision. And if it was, I'd be okay with it. So we'd have to put a poll up and get a unanimous vote. That's the only way I change rules. That's the only way. There's no, this is turning into a Superflex because I'm a commish and I got 2 good QBs. No, that's not how it works. I'm a man of the people, and that's the way it works. Not to mention, I don't really want to commish at all. I made this literally a commissioner-free zone. This league kind of just runs itself, and if anybody has problems, they got to pull their big boy pants up. Not saying in this case, Russian, I'm not talking about you, but pull their big boy pants up and do it live. We got my boy Grant, who's in town, by the way. We just had lunch, and Grant is on the clock. And Grant took, who did he get? Grant is on the clock, and he took, who did he get? What team is he? Team 1? Who did he get? Who did you get? Okay. Russian Collusion, appreciate you. Call in if you want to talk about it. Overcome, thank you. Guys, thank you for the super chats. Okay, go ahead, Rock Out. What's on your mind?
Would you rather have Sam Howell or Trey to get Cousins as your second quarterback?
Sam Howell or Trey? Trey who?
Or Cousins. No, Cousins.
Oh, trade. Cousins.
Trade to get Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins. I mean, if it's straight up, I think you got to take Cousins. He's more safe, but could Sam Howell play to that level? I mean, sure, but that's a long shot bet you make. It's not something you would bank on. Whereas Cousins is, steady Eddie. So there's no reason to get crazy. But do I think if you missed out on Cousins type players that you could go late quarterback shopping and maybe get a surprise little backup quarterback? Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how much I would have to give up.
Yeah.
But my bold take, but not bold take, the show's going to be a mid-season monster. I think we're going to come up the next couple months.
Who's going to be a mid-season monster?
The show.
The show?
I think we're going to surprise people and come up.
Okay. Yeah.
with our
Yeah.
numbers.
I like that. I think maybe we come in, we're almost at 21K. We're going to hit like 40K by the end of the season. Maybe we just get crazy up in here.
Yeah.
Okay, Overcome with a super chat here says, would offering Connor and Hollywood Brown for Keenan Allen be lowball? I'd actually rather have Keenan Allen in that question, which is rare for me to say, but I'd rather just go after a different wide receiver that I actually love. I mean, Keenan Allen's ranked higher than Debo. Keenan Allen's ranked higher than Christian Watson in London, and I'd rather just have those guys. This is kind of my thinking, Overcome, versus going that direction. Where are we ranking Barkley this year? Top 5 running back? I think he could be a top 5 running back, but I don't think we rank him as a top 5 running back. I think he's a 6 to 10 guy, but he certainly could end up producing top 5. He's a very, very good player. And he's another year removed from his ACL recovery, and he's just looking strong. Kind of has a vulturing situation potentially at play. But I definitely don't mind. Definitely don't mind Saquon at all. I mean, we took him in the throne draft, and it was a tad higher than he is in other formats. But on that format, he was taken, and we got St. Brown to pair with him, and I don't hate it at all. But do I like Pollard a little better? I do. And I drafted, in all honesty, in a buddy league, I drafted Saquon, and I regretted doing it, and I immediately made offers for Pollard, who went like 5, 6, 7 spots later, and the guy took the deal, and everybody thought it was a bad trade on my part. They're like, you just traded Saquon, a first-rounder, for Pollard. But I regretted not just sticking to my guns in that trade. I tried to play the ADP, and while it did work, Pollard did fall. I had Garrett Wilson unexpectedly fall, so I took him, and I already had Saquon, and I'm like, I should have just taken Pollard and Garrett Wilson. So I ended up making the trade and felt good about it. Smitty, is Grant going to do the league again this year? I don't know what we may do a Planet Uranus Men league, and then we'll throw him in that, and we'll figure something out. But yeah, he probably will be in some sort of league that we're doing. Niner game just kicked off. This will be interesting to watch play out. Brock Purdy's hitting the field. Here he goes. He's taking his first snap. 15 minutes on the clock here. Starting from the 25-yard line. Brock Purdy tosses the ball to the middle of the field. Was that juice? Completion for about roughly 7 yards. Brock Purdy's arm does work. Let's see what happens on play number 2. Second and about 3. Ben, what does Lance have to do with Pollard? I don't know what that means, Ben. What is Ben talking about? Best fantasy football show on the planet. This is from that boy who gets a $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Okay. Second completion, Deebo Samuel for I'd say about 5-6 yards. First down. Thank you so much, that boy, for dropping the $10 hauler. You monster, you. He says this is the best show on the planet. Well, the show loves you back, bro. The show loves you back a whole heck of a lot. The show loves all of you. I don't really know what you mean about this question here. What does Lance have to do with Pollard? Did I say something about Lance and Pollard having to do with each other? Third play. Very bad throw there by Purdy. He was just throwing it away essentially, but that was like kind of an awkward toss there. Maybe somebody ran a wrong route, but he was getting blitzed like crazy. Turned around, fake handoff, and just overthrew Kittle by a country mile. That was a really, really bad throw. But that's okay. One bad throw ain't the end of the world. Smitty, I'm responding to Manny, not you. Okay, thank you, Ben. I didn't understand. This is Feeney. Let me go answer Feeney's question. Watching Purdy highlights, he looks special. Watching Purdy highlights, he looks special. He's undefeated as a starter, except for when he had the... Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the overhyping of Purdy. I get it. I don't know that I'm ready to buy into it yet. I think he's very prepared, and that preparedness was amazing. The fact that he stepped in and just knew the whole playbook and could open up the offense, it was all very, very solid. I like him. Seems like a really good potential leader. Let's see what he does here. I like what I see so far, to be honest. He had one bad throw, but he's looking accurate and precise. He's got good command of the offense. The weapons are plentiful. Smooth throw there. First down. Offense is catered to him. Like there's nothing he can't do. Mason, that was a nice little catch by Mason. First down, Niners. Moving the football down the field very effectively. Purdy looks healthy. I mean, these throws Purdy can make very easily. There's not like there's anything Purdy's throwing right now where it's like, oh my God, his arm's going to fall off. He's out there throwing. His UCL looks fine at this point. Will it hold up all year? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like. Feeney, Smitty, I think Barkley decent this year too, but trying to pair Barkley with Keenan Allen for Tyreek Hill or something. I wouldn't mind that. Mason, tough runner. I like Jordan Mason a lot. I like Jordan Mason more than Eli Mitchell. Eli Mitchell can't stay healthy. Jordan Mason's a very intriguing player to cuff to CMC in addition to Mitchell. If you can afford to, sometimes people's benches can't be capable of 3 running backs from one team. But if you have Mason, Mitchell, and CMC, you almost are protected beyond, any sort of injury that could happen. So Edward, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Edward. All right, here we go. First and Purdy, very errant pass out of bounds. 3rd and 3. I don't know what he was doing, where he was going with that one. That was quite a bad throw. That was a bad throw, Rockout. That was pretty errant.
Yeah, I saw that.
What's up, Ron? What's up, Ron?
Hey, Smitty.
What's going on?
Hey. Well, me and my buddy, we did.
Wow, Ayuk down to the 2.
Yeah, that was a good play.
That was good.
Yeah, Purdy's looking pretty good. He's looking solid.
Purdy to Ayuk. Very, very good play there. Ayuk is very crispy. You know, it'll be interesting how much volume he gets if there's enough footballs to go around. He really should have taken that to the house. I don't know. I think he was losing his balance, maybe.
He was a little off balance, but
here, hold on 1 second, Ron. It's this is 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
He tripped
Did Purdy okay? I don't mean to scare anybody, but he ran into. Yeah, he looks all right. He ran into.
Running back.
Oh.
Tripping. Good thing you can't call. They can't call a penalty on the offense.
He's got to be careful with that arm, man. He's got to be careful with that.
What?
That ligament. All right, here we go.
So,
2nd and goal.
Buddy got into the FFPC best ball draft. You know, the $100,000 one.
Mason touchdown.
We drafted earlier. You know, it's tight end premium league. All of there. So we ended up with the 12 spot, and of course, Bijan went number 8, and Pollard went number 9. Running backs were going crazy. So we took Garrett Wilson, then Derrick Henry, Najee, Darren Waller. Then in the 5th round, we got Trevor Lawrence, and then George Pickens, Cousins, Zay Flowers, Chig.
Oh, that was a
we
fumble.
Got Chig.
Yeah, that's good. Sounds like a good
Zay
team.
Jones,
I thought that was a touchdown.
Tyrese.
Hold on 1 second, Ron. I'm sorry. I thought that was a touchdown. That was Mason fumbled the football into the end zone. So it's a touchback. So it's Chargers football. I thought he scored that touchdown. That was showed it from the other angle, and the ball was loose. Touchback. That's a shame. Yeah, it sounds like a good team.
Well, we got Tajay Spears, Osborne, Tank Dell, and then Tyler Conklin, Ty Chandler, Evan Hall, Hayden Hurst in the 18th round. And then this one is 19th. I mean, it's just add a 3rd quarterback because last year we got screwed. So we took Mayfield and then Calvin Austin as our last pick in 20 rounds.
Nice. Sounds like a good team. How do you feel
But we
about...
got 4 tight end premium, and there's two flex positions. So you start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, a tight end.
Yep.
So
nice.
Yeah, we did okay. It's a lot different drafting over there than it is an underdog. And
you got to know you got to follow your ADP to manipulate it.
Yeah.
The best you can.
Especially with tight end.
KH.
Tight end premium makes it so weird.
KH3 says, how do you feel about Kincaid and Okonkwo? Well, you must be, and it's okay. Everybody's coming back to football at different pace. You know, you don't have to feel bad for not being here. But I literally talk up Okonkwo and Kincaid all day long, nearly every show. And so I love these guys, and they're 2 of my favorite tight ends to pair together. The 2 of them together, and you start Okonkwo probably in week 1. You don't have to, but you probably do. We'll see what happens here. But he's definitely somebody that that is going to have some design plays, Chicago, and I think he'll serve a very good low end wide receiver 2 type of purpose. Whereas Kincaid could be slow starting, you got to be patient with him. But once he gets going and on his horse, he could be a top 5 tight end in the making with the potential to be the future elite tight end of all of fantasy football tight ends. So I love him a whole bunch in Dynasty and obviously like him a lot in redraft. Hill or Kupp now that he's healthy? I don't know that I love Kupp right now still. He's 30 years old with a rather big injury history. I like him. I definitely take him like at the end of round 1. Like there's a certain point where I don't keep continuing to kick him downstream. But I certainly don't draft him over. I draft Garrett Wilson over Cooper Kupp. I draft Bijan obviously, Kelsey obviously over. So he's not like 4 or 5 for me. I package him into like a 7, 8, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 area, and I'm not apologetic about it because it's not like Cooper Kupp has had this magnificent long career of being the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football. He's done it one time, and his only other 1,000-yard season, other than his Triple Crown season, was of 1,100 respectable 1,100 yards. And 7, 8 touchdowns, whatever, or what was it, 10 touchdowns? It was a really good season. It was a really, really good season, but it wasn't like it was the elite top 1 to 5 season. So Cooper Kupp is a lot to prove to me, and he's 30 years old, so I'm not going to go down that road unless it's like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which a lot of people are going to say is crazy. They're going to say, oh, he's the top wide receiver in fantasy football points per game last year until he got hurt, but he still has only had one of those electric seasons. So that's kind of how I feel about Cooper Kupp, but I still like him. That doesn't mean he's a bust. It just means I can't take him 4 or 5 overall. And Bum says full PPR, 10-man, 3 wide receiver league, 1 flex, 2 running back, 1 QB, 1 tight end. Want to start Hill, Olave, Ridley after going 3 straight wide receivers. Which 2 sets of players do you like more? Christian Watson, Walker, DJ Moore, Fields. I like Fields and Walker hands down. I mean, I love Watson, obviously. I love DJ Moore. Those are all good players. They're all very, very highly touted by me and highly ranked by me and all neck and neck, to be honest. But if push came to shove, give me Walker and Fields. I want Walker and Fields. I like Watson. You went 3 straight wide receivers anyway, so Walker even makes more sense. But totally on the Fields and Walker train there. I wouldn't even hesitate. Those would be by far the next 2 players that I rank. And I love all of them. If you miss out on one, you still got great options. And Jimmy the Drunk with, I believe, the last Super Chat to get caught up. 25-year player here in fantasy. And this is the only guy, YouTube Fantasy Football channel, I would take advice from. Thank you, Jimmy the Drunk. Appreciate you. And thank you for all your support. And you are the man. Well, boys, I'm going to probably end it here. Any final words or thoughts from either one of you before we jump out of here? I'm going to watch a little bit of this game here, but I got to go grab some food, get back here for a draft night tonight. That was a horrible throw.
I'm good.
Horrible throw by Malik Willis. I remember, I'm ashamed that I even like Malik Willis. Last year, I was very high on him as a potential like Superflex gem pick up and hold. But, a lot of those times, like even Malik Cunningham in New England, that could totally bust. But it's a very, very intriguing pick up and hold, and then you throw him away if it doesn't work. Nobody had to break the bank. He was a waiver wire fodder, and it didn't work. And I admit it. I don't mind admitting when I miss something. I missed on this guy. A lot of potential. I don't think I shy away. My whole point in saying that and kicking myself right in the nuts in front of everybody is to say that it doesn't make me shy away from wanting Malik Cunningham, who we may see come out onto the field if he hasn't been out already, and we'll see what he does tonight. Maybe he craps the bed and we just release him straight out upright. But I totally love the idea of Malik Cunningham, and I think he's maybe the best quarterback on that New England Patriot roster, so we'll see what happens with Malik. Any final thoughts on anything, boys?
No, I'm good, Smitty.
All right. Ron, anything?
No, not really. Just watching the rest of these games and stuff.
Can't wait for football.
wife kind of hit a wall today. She's been sleeping most of the day. She hasn't been, that chemo. Yeah, but she needs to just sleep, so she's doing good. I mean, as far as that goes, she's got to rest.
Yeah, hopefully she
feels
better. Prayers up for Miss Navy. All right, boys, we'll see you tonight. I'll see you tonight. All right, later.
Later.
Okay, super chat here. Would you go Saquon or Pollard? I would go Pollard personally. And the reason I say that is because I actually drafted Saquon admittedly in a buddy league, and I regretted it the minute I did it. I said, why didn't I just take Pollard? And I made the trade straight up, and he did it gladly, and the entire league was like, why'd you trade Pollard or Saquon for Pollard? It was like I couldn't get it. I tried to get more. Couldn't get more. Pulled the trigger. Don't regret it a single bit. I love Tony Pollard. I like Saquon a lot, but I love Tony Pollard. He's the man. And I think he's top 5 to 10 running back bound this year. And I think drafting him in the bottom of round 1 is just fine. Don't listen to anybody. Try and get away with what you can get away with, but love me some Tony Pollard. 2023. All right, boys, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. I'll see you tonight. We're drafting on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty tonight. Use code Smitty. I just dropped the link in the live chat. The link's also pinned in the live chat, and it's in the description of every video, including this video. So please get ready tonight. Be prepared. Hit the link now. Use code Smitty. The link inserts code Smitty for you. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. And get ready to rumble tonight as we draft and we try and see where some of these players are going to go. And I'm excited to see where everybody's drafting, Dotson now, and with McLaurin injured, where's he even go? Where are we drafting Stevenson right now? Where are we drafting JT as we await a potential trade? Is he still going to go in the second round? Is that a bad location to take him? We'll find all that out tonight. Again, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Get on over to Underdog using the link in the live chat and in the description. Code Smitty gets you up to $100 and gets you ready. Up to $100 bonus match, dollar for dollar. Kane, $5 hauler, standard yard heavy TDs worth half what they normally are. That's weird. I don't know why you'd play in that league, Kane, to be honest. I mean, like, there's not a lot of content for that. So it's like it would be hard for me to want to play in a league like that where you don't even know what you're looking at. How would that affect any moon men in my draft ranking? To be honest, I don't even know. Because, we look at the Moon Men list.
The Moon Men dropping loads in outer space.
I mean, Bijan's going to be as good, if not better,
Space Monsters,
comparatively to all these guys. I think Pacheco's going to have good value. Walker, I think, is going to score a lot of touchdowns this year. I think Ridley's great. Guys that would maybe drop off a little bit would be like London, because he might have big yards and decent touchdowns, but maybe the touchdowns won't quite be where we want them to be. I mean, past that, not much really changes. A lot of these guys are big playmakers. I mean, even Javonte coming off the injury could be a 12 TD guy this year. Swift might be a tad lower. These are all touchdown scoring monsters, in my opinion, minus maybe London getting more yards than some of these guys in some ways, and then maybe less TDs, and so that could affect them potentially. But that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, it's hard to come up with content on the fly on that because it's such a unique stat, or category, scoring. I don't know that I like it. There's probably not a lot of content that's going to, cater to that. So that's what would make me say, why are we doing this? Why is the commission doing a weird league? To what? What's the purpose of having the weird ass scoring that no one's creating content for? Know what I mean? Max, appreciate your super chat, and appreciate your super chat. Was it Kane? Kane, my guy. Thank you, Kane. Appreciate you. Devontae Smith or Gibbs and Ridley. Devontae Smith over Gibbs and Ridley. I take Gibbs. I go back and forth on that one. That's a really good. Looking for more yards than TDs. Yeah, but if the TDs are, I don't know. I guess Yeah, I guess the way I was describing it was more so like if they're not scoring a lot of TDs, you want guys that are scoring a lot of TDs because they're worth less. So who's scoring more of them? You know what I mean? But at the same time, you could say, yeah, who's scoring more yards? But of all the moon men, the reason I didn't explain it that way is because all those moon men, I think, will be pretty good yard monsters. Who caught that touchdown? Willis throws a touchdown. Who is that? Jackson. Looked like a Conquo for a moment. Okay. Max, appreciate your $5 holler, my guy. I don't know if Max had a question or if he's just throwing out some love. Ben, appreciate you. Devontae Smith, Gilbert Gibbs, and Ridley. I think probably Devontae Smith, but quietly I like Gibbs more, meaning I'd probably trade down or do something to get Gibbs. I like Gibbs the most of all those guys, but they're all very, very solid players that I absolutely love. Thank you, Kane. Appreciate you. Gibbs over Devontae, says Travis. Seems like Lawrence will throw more TDs than Hurts. He will probably. But again, like yardage wise, T-Law might outscore Hurts, I suppose, in that format. He's going to throw more TDs. He'll probably throw for more yards, but then again, Hurts is going to run a lot. So I don't know. That's a weird freaking scoring system. Hard to figure. All right, broskies, I'll see you all tonight. Drafting tonight. Hit that link in the live chat. Get ready. Purdy running, scrambling. Purdy touchdown, runs it in untouched. That's what the Niner fans wanted to see. Purdy looking really good. Let's be honest. Purdy looking smooth. Purdy looking pretty good. See you all tonight.